out. Humble and weak girl, a so sizzler flow. My life now go happy without her. Any little thing me have to shout her. Oh man, you are my girl from day one. And no can't change how we same one. Hey, me tell you, say me life now go happy without her. And when me want the love, me have to shout her. She a my girl from day one. No can't change how we same one.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.
Famous and for say crew representing for Gadites on the Morning Right International Show. Nobody nothing know say you want him at touch. Nobody nothing know say you are give it up. Nobody nothing know say you go by yard.
Represent for the International Morning Right Show. You know, told you. Outside, this is King Alibaba straight out to make money record. I represent for what you don't know, the International Morning Right Show. Every Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with O. The 5 masterman like Gadites. Outside, this is King Alibaba.
I'm smart. You don't know when I'm listening to the radio and, tuning on the internet. Got to keep my radio locked. On my internet locked, whether it's on the telephone, whether it's on the iPhone, the berries of strawberries, whatever it is, keep it locked to the body station on the internet. Fresh radio vibes. See? Keep it
Hey girl, long time I don't see. Do you have a little time to spend it with me? I wanna know what's been going on in your life. Talk to me, baby. Yeah. Your hair, the perfume you wear brings back memories of you and me. Yeah. You look so fine. Oh, ladies, rock with me tonight for old time's sake. Ladies, listen what I tell you. Rock with me tonight for old time's sake. Ooh, ladies, I have never been so much in love before. Ooh, what a difference true love made in my life. So right, so right. Yeah. loving you, and you that I never ever felt, that I've never dreamed of. Oh, baby, oh, na, na, na. Mr. Cruz again. Better get ready. Get ready. Come do the rock steady, baby. You've got to do this new dance. Hope that you're ready. You've got to do it just like Mr. Cruz said. Don't you know, girl? Shake your hip, rock your body line, move your shoulders. Everything is fine. We're cruising. Oh, yeah. Oh, na, na, na. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, ladies. Hey, girl. Long time I don't see. But do you got a little time to spend it with me? Tell me, I wanna know what's been going on in your life. Talk to me, baby. Let me tell you, your hair, the perfume you wear brings back memories of you and me. Oh, you look so fine. You blow my mind all over again. Rock with me tonight for old time's sake. Yeah, 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 yeah. Sitting in the park, waiting for you. Sitting in the park, waiting for you.
DJ Production.
Gotta say, Grand Rising to each and every one right now. Grand Rising. Yes, I.
Nothing's for certain. It will pass. Just cannot last.
We might be crying, so many dying. It will pass, just cannot last.
So you feel you've had enough, cause the times have gotten tough, things have got really bad. You're taking it so hard. We will not accept defeat. We will get back on our feet. Life will return to sweet.
Yeah,
This too shall pass.
Oh Lord,
Pass.
will pass.
let them know
This too shall pass.
Yes, I.
Won't last.
oh Lord, let that door.
La da doy.
This too shall pass.
Yes.
Don't be discouraged.
Saying global Grand Rising to our global listeners right now. If you're in Canada, if you're in Jamaica, you wanna share this live. This live is gonna be hot, all right?
Stuck inside your house with your children and your spouse.
Cause
On with your family.
285 still alive.
Joined by the Lord above.
This morning we have the former Colonel,
This too shall
Mr. Ferron Williams. Yes, I.
Let them know
This too shall
Pass.
pass.
Gotta say Grand Rising to Queen Mother right now.
This too shall pass.
Oh
separates us, but there's nothing dividing us. We've always come together.
Come together.
Through every dilemma.
Every dilemma.
St. Thomas to St. Boy. St. John is so nice. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Virgin order. We'll be one forever.
So if you think you gotta speak, you'll find the strength for when we meet. We'll find the power in the darkest hour.
Cause no matter what you know,
Yes.
we'll find the light right down the road.
Hey.
Nothing will last. No,
This too shall
we
pass.
all stand up in harmony,
In harmony,
showing passion
showing
for His
passion.
place.
And if ever it comes to darkness,
I know we can lift up this place.
Hey.
This place.
This will pass, 'cause I know
All my
that
maroon
we all
brothers and
get
sisters
through
globally.
together.
It will pass. It sure will
We
pass.
are in a seat of power right now.
There's no reason why we can do this together.
Yes, I know we can make this. Cause I know, yes, I know we're the greatest.
Gotta say grand rising to be family.
USVI, there's no reason why we can't do this together.
We're gonna be here until about 2 o'clock, right?
We can make it do this. Yes, I know.
This too shall pass.
This too shall pass. Yeah.
I believe that this too
We
shall
all stand up in harmony.
In harmony.
Showing passion for His way.
Yes, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. We are looking at great things happening for our nation right
A
now.
majority of African Americans that lived here were brought over here.
No,
No.
that's not economically sound.
What do you mean by it's not economically sound?
So what I'm saying is, people were already here. Does it make sense to go all the way to this other continent to bring people on a boat when we know that half of your stock is going to die? You wouldn't do that.
So how many people do you think were brought over from Africa on slave ships? Because that definitely happened.
I don't believe it.
What do you mean you don't believe it?
I don't believe that story. You think this whole land was empty? No, there were natives here.
Right.
But today we're taught that natives is some other people.
Uh-huh.
No, natives are the melanated African being that has come here since the beginning of the Mali Empire. We're talking about 14th, 13th century. We had come.
Really?
Oh yeah, we had already come here. You know, maybe people were brought over as slaves, but I don't think that the black people in America came from Africa on slave ships. I believe the people that were here were slowly conquered. First got the East Coast, and then they started spreading out west little by little, conquering. And when you conquer a tribe, what do? You enslave them. They're POWs. Right?
Okay.
That's what you do.
But I'm still confused. There's a great history of slave ships being brought over from Africa.
History is his story.
His story.
What about my story?
My story.
Is my story not valid?
But
My
if you do
story.
23andMe on from out that they
23andMe?
well, that's
Either way, if you take black people here in America and you do their DNA sample and it point back to Africa, what does that say? It says black people in America are Africans.
Oh
Now,
my
the
God.
argument is, were we brought here or were we already here? Did we bring ourselves here or did the white man bring us here? You see, when you say the white man brought us here, what you're doing is you're removing our ability to transport ourselves. You're saying, oh, we didn't know anything about boats. That's what you're trying to tell me. You're trying to tell me that we didn't know that there was a landmass here. Go look at the primary source. You got here, we met black people. We got the Caribbean black people. You think the Caribbean is right next to America and they weren't in America?
That's interesting.
Does it make any sense? I mean, when you go and you look at real European history, would believe that if they took a bath, that was bad.
Right.
They didn't even want to change their clothes. They thought that dirty was purity. When we talk about the Moors going into Spain and into Europe, the stories in the history, our history, says that when we met, the so-called Caucasian, he was sleeping in the barn with the animals, and we told him, no, you can't sleep in the barn with animals. We taught them etiquette. We taught them running water. We brought that technology to Europe. Now, if we brought the technology to Europe that saved Europe from the Black Plague, you mean to tell me that if we saved the white race, that we weren't already in America already? When we brought the technology, when Rome was dependent on Africa for food? Remember when the Black Plague hit Rome? The cause was one of the officials was stealing the grain that was coming from Africa. So there was famine, hit Rome. If your source of sustenance is from Africa, how are you superior?
How are you superior?
You're not. You get your food from me.
You're not.
So if you get your food from me, who's more likely to travel this globe?
Who's likely, huh? Who's likely?
Me, I'm the source of food.
Uh-huh.
And that's the first thing you need to survive on this planet.
Mighty God. Let me say grand rising again to my brothers and sisters who, you know, we're here at a place of discussion. We're gonna talk with our brothers and sisters. The number to call is 260-209-8730. And you can join the conversation, but for now it's going to be a reasoning. I'm going to allow Mr. Ferron Williams to take over airwaves and talk about Maroon. Yeah, there's a lot of things that came through last week when we spoke with Queen Mother, and I think it was Miss Avis, who they are in the corner of the present colonel. And you know, a lot of things was put on the table, I must say. Grand rising to all our patriotic Maroons that are listening near and far and want to, you know, get to the meat of the matter. Now, there's several things that is on the table when it comes on to the building that was built. We want to find out exactly how this really plays in. You know, how does this plays into all of the mechanism? We want to ask about the last gathering that took place. Yes, the last gathering that took place when it goes on to as far as how much funds was allocated, what are some of the things that was left in place for I think we may have the gentleman Grand Rising, hold on, I'm gonna hold right there. We also want to chat with the Colonel about, you know, some of the developments that he left in place. We know that there's some question as to money. We hear that there's only $2,000 that was left back in the kitty that was put forward as the amount left in the kitty, and we're gonna ask this question. Our engineer tried to find out if our guest is ready, we are going to just warm up. Let me get him on the line while we listen to this track. Hold on. Nobody care about it. Who really cares about the Maroon? Who really cares about the Maroon? Nobody care about us. With so much things happening in the corporation of Jamaica. Let's go. Yes, I want to Grand Rising. Nobody care about us. Hold on. Grand Rising. How you doing? Hello, Grand Rising. Is this Mr. Williams?
Yes, this is Mr. Williams.
How you doing, Colonel? Colonel, mind you sipping on some chocolate tea or something, Colonel. Are you in good?
No, I am in good stead.
Wow.
I am in good stead, sir.
Yes, yes.
Rascadai?
Yes, man. Yes, yes.
How are you?
Yeah, listen, I have been yearning to talk to you and hear your side of your story as the past colonel for a Kongpong town. I'll allow you some minutes to introduce yourself and set the stage for me this morning, because we're going to talk. Introduce yourself to our listeners, please.
Right, sir. Thanks. Good morning, listeners. I am Ferron Williams. I am former colonel, a retired inspector of police.
Mm-hmm.
And, I love my fellow Maroons throughout the world, not only in Jamaica, so to speak, a Kampong, but throughout the world.
Wow.
And I tell you, if it wasn't for the love for my people, I would not be on the air this morning. Because, you see, I just want to clear up some ambiguities.
Yes, yes.
A lot of things being said, but I remember one thing. The media make and the media break. And yes, sir, it makes and it breaks. And, the old-time African proverbs, when two brothers fight, strangers benefited from it. And again, sometimes it's better you keep your mouth shut and consider a fool than to go out and laba all over and prove to be one.
Yes, yes.
So, but, all these false and misleading information going out, I wanted to really explain. But as I said earlier, about the media,
they make you and they can break you. Well,
they make and they break.
Well, we condition ourselves as the official radio station for the Maroons. And, I want to say thank you a while ago for clearing the air about Maroons, not only in a Kongpong town, but throughout the islands and throughout the rest of the planet, the globe. Thank you so much for clearing that up. Bring us up to scratch. You were colonel for a Kongpong town from what year till what year?
From 2009 until 2021.
Okay. And
yes,
continue.
Yes, until 2021.
No,
the 18th of yes, go ahead.
The 18th of what?
February.
Okay. Now, through your reign, what condition was a Kongpong town and the wider Maroon acceptance? What was it? Because I know you said that you were also working with the JDF and the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
JCF.
Yeah, but explain to me, what condition did you get the Maroon government in?
When you say condition, explain to me what you mean by condition.
I mean,
because all right.
Yes.
Let me say, we were on a peaceful, amicable condition, and we have dialogue going on. A Kampong was the model community throughout the world. When I say the model community throughout the world, I figure more or less than when the Garden of Eden.
Yes.
Eden was, it was with a Kampong in mind. I don't want to sound as if I am bashing persons, right?
Yes.
Because that's not my intention. As I earlier said, when two brothers fight, and to clear the air, our young colonel He called himself chief. I know him as colonel.
Okay.
I don't want to say, well, his administration is doing what he should have been, or they should have been doing, because all the other colonel have done it the other way around. Because I come from when the most peaceful place on planet Earth, the leader have bodyguard. Come on, Rascadai. Where? No, sir.
Those things was not part of the apparatus when you were in as the personal bodyguard for protection and so forth.
No, but we did not have any disturbances where it necessitate a bodyguard.
All right.
And first,
go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
First and foremost, you have just, I didn't want to speed forward to the new colonel. I wanted to get some meat on the bone before I head into the colonel. Now, a compound town, I just said, has been a peaceful example for the rest of the island because the murder rate was down in the community. And, people was finding their own method of surviving without the inclusion of the Corporation of Jamaica. The Maroons now, they have a 1738 treaty. Talk to me about that. What is your understanding of that treaty?
What is there?
What is your understanding? What do you see the 1738 treaty as far as the Maroons?
It's one would say a model. It's a guideline, so to speak. I hate when persons say we were given lands.
Yes.
We fought for it.
Yes.
And that's something that we earn. That's something that we earn. So if you earn something, it wasn't given to you. And it was for the born and the unborn, and not for no one person to dictate to how it is used or so on.
Was it a surrender, or was it a compromise where we say we cease the war, or was it the crown that surrendered to the Maroons?
The crown has surrendered. Maroons.
Okay.
They had surrendered.
Glad to get that. So people, you're hearing it from a former colonel. It was a surrender. The crown, who owns the Jamaica establishment, surrendered to the Maroon. Now, I want to clear this up before I go any further. There is a bit of conflict of interest when people hear that you were working with the Jamaica Constabulary Force and then become a colonel for a compound town. Do you see that as a conflict of interest, or how do you view that? What would you say to the speculators who are speculating that there is a conflict of interest at that point?
There can be no conflict of interest. There can be no conflict of interest. We, Jamaica on a whole, we are what one would say, we govern ourselves to the extent where only murder, that is what the peace treaty said, should leave out of the community, right? As such, we did not have any disturbance that we could not handle ourselves. We used to try our own cases and things like that. And if person found guilty, then the harsh punishment would be for community service. And don't forget, that over the 285 years now.
Yes, it is.
We only have how much murders in the community? One before, and at that time, it was classified as self-defense, right? Because if a murder should commit up there, what we would have is a thing that they refer to now as a preliminary inquiries. Understand? So the colonel and his administration would decide whether or not to call in the outside forces, so to speak. That was what was going on.
I'm getting a feedback that the present colonel worked with the Corporation of Jamaica, so the former colonel working with the JCF. It's a trend. It's a trend. Now, why I ask that question is, we are looking at a 285 surrender from the Crown, and the Jamaica Corporation is owned by the Crown. And if a Maroon should put aside their sovereignty and work on behalf of the Crown Corporation Jamaica, some people see that as a conflict of interest, because your sovereignty have to subside for the sovereignty, the quote-unquote sovereignty of the Jamaica Corporation. And as I've said before, several Maroon does not share the sentiments that the Corporation of Jamaica is over the Maroon, because we have 1738, they have 1962. Now, let's shift it up a bit now, because how I really got to know about Mr. Ferron Williams was, we were working on the airwaves and we got some disturbing news that yourself and the Emperor, as they call himself, L.A. Lewis, had a dispute and there was an issuing to give him some lashes. Can you clear up that to say it's true or false?
I'll tell you something.
Yes.
As I said before, teeth and tongue will meet.
Yes, yes.
Okay? And if you have your child and he or she constantly get out of line, then what kind of punishment or what can you do to put that person back in line?
So that
I am.
Talk to me.
Oh, go ahead.
Because my understanding is several people live outside of a Kongpong town take it personal that they are the only Maroons. And I was clearing it up with some of my brothers and sisters. As you said a while ago, it's a global phenomenon. This Maroon rights that we're enacting is a win for all Maroons, both in a Kongpong town, outside of a Kongpong town. Now, L.A. Lewis has emerged as a mouthpiece for the Maroons globally, where he has stand on certain principles, putting the Jamaica Corporation in its fullness to know that they don't have any sovereignty over us because of 1738. There has been a lot of brothers and sisters from all walks of life who are standing up. The likes of Daniel Z. Basra, you know what I mean, very much out there. You have Mr. Dennis Foster, who's very much out there. Chief Timothy McPherson is also out there, just to name a few. And people are saying that a Kongpong business is not their business. As the colonel, for the former colonel for a Kongpong town, how do you address that where people are marginalizing the efforts of other Maroons to get their right activated? What would you say to them?
You know, the saying goes, together we stand. Together we stand. If we unite, then we can move mountain. Remember, the ants, one ant can remove an object, but with togetherness, they can. So the thing is, as much as one would want to say, fine,
yes,
like for example, L.A. Lewis now, what we could remember, L.A. is, you know something, let me clear something up.
Yes.
First, because L.A., I don't understand him at all, because he is out there creating some kind of mischief and spreading false rumor about me. That is one of the things that prompt me to come on the ear to clear up things. Because you see, sometimes he forgot that he said things, and I can replay a tape for him where he was saying that he was making some mistake. I wasn't the person. If I don't know if he's listening, but I can remember. I can remind him when we went to Black River to have one of our Maroons who was actually in the jail there for over 3 months.
I think I remember that story.
Because of, and that very time he acknowledged that, you know, he had made some mistake and things like that. Not because somebody is not seeing eye to eye with you, why you should try to belittle and tarnish the person's reputation. I am totally against something like that.
Character assassination.
And, yes, sir. And, you know, before I even go further, let me tell you that persons will be hearing from my lawyer soon.
Persons you want to call name? Persons as to who? L.A. Lewis and who and the above?
I don't want to call no name.
Okay.
I don't like calling any name now that you must give me that privilege.
Okay. Well, thank you. All right, let's bring it up to scratch. What is the relationship with you and the present colonel right now?
The relationship is from the offset. Let me say something to you now.
Yes.
Which I am certain.
Yes.
The present colonel did not tell anybody that he was a part of my cabinet. The present colonel. He called himself chief.
The present colonel, Chief Curry, was a part of your cabinet before you left office.
Before, yes. And he was supposed to be my PR person.
Yes.
And if he denied, I'll look up the email and send it to you.
Okay, so he was a part. Talk to me.
Yes, he was a part. And you remember sometime Daniel Bozra was saying that, this ganja program, I actually started the negotiation from 2013. I have documents to prove to it that I was in negotiation with the government from 2013 about this ganja project. And you see, sometimes, as I say, I am the type of person who don't want to wash my dirty linen in the public. But that is a part of the the bad blood between Curry and I.
So
he wanted. Yes, sir.
There is a bit of there's some bitter blood right now.
I don't have any animosity against him, but he has, and in fact he has been tarnishing and my name all over about me spending 129 million. Now, if I, Ferron Williams, was in possession of 30 million out of the 129 that he's in, you would not have heard nothing about a Curry. There would not be a Curry, because I tell you something, God, I don't know how I could let you get one of my manifestos.
Mm-hmm. You could email, you could WhatsApp it to me while we're talking. It's very easy. I hope Opal is listening and she could send any documents that I need verification on via our WhatsApp. But continue.
I tell you something.
Yes.
We are not near each other.
She's listening.
No,
She's listening. She's listening.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And I am saying that I'm not certain that she have
access to that.
The manifesto just now.
Yes.
But as you know, I tell you something. You mentioned her name.
Mm-hmm.
She's one extra strong Jamaican, intelligent black woman.
She's a strong maroon. She's a strong maroon. I talk.
I tell you.
Yes.
But I tell you something.
Yes.
You know. My people are up there because of her. Let me say now, intelligent and so on.
Yes.
They are saying that she's not a maroon. They are saying that she is not, because here what happened. Upward of 25.
Yes.
During the election was up against she alone. And if it wasn't for some $20 million that certain person get.
Yes.
They would not have defeated her.
We're going to get into some of these money because you're mentioning some big figures. Before I go further, do you know how much vote did Richard Curry get to become the chief?
Okay. Roughly 680, something like that.
600,
right.
6,800 or 600?
600.
And
I'll tell you something.
Of a population, what's the population of a Kong Kong town? Estimate. Give me an estimate.
Okay. All right. Roughly, all right. Let me tell you now. The voting population.
Yes.
Not only a compound, because not only a compound persons that vote, but over 40 years, we have 1,449. Lo and behold, within 2 months of the last election here,
yes,
we have almost 3,000.
I want you to talk, because people are listening, and just like last week when they were picking sense from the nonsense, they are picking the sense from this also this morning. So people are listening. So if you have to say something, Colonel.
I am saying that persons in the Colonel camp,
yes,
within a 2-month period, padded the list. They pad that list and put on 1,000.
When you say pad,
500.
when you say pad that list, they add people who were alive or dead or people who didn't live in the community. How did they get to pad the list?
Persons who weren't living in the community, persons who have they don't even know where a kampong is.
Wow.
They have no intention of saying that they are Maroons. But their names were placed there. How?
Yes.
By persons. And I tell you something. As I said before, I don't want to let it look like I am a sore loser.
Yes.
Because let me tell you straight up, I did not want to be colonel for more than a 6 month. This I told my former deputy then. Right?
Who was that?
At the time.
Who was their former deputy?
Namaro Edwards.
Namaro Edwards, yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, if I figure more or less that she could have won the election, I would not have put my name as one of the candidates.
Mm-hmm.
And this I told not only she, but also other persons, not only in a compound, persons who are living abroad and so on, from the diaspora. I told them that, the thing that was really going on, I did not like it. And I was putting myself forward to make it a better place, which I was doing.
Let's talk about some of the accomplishment, because as we just settled a while ago, there's a bit of disgruntledness as to the two leadership, past and present. There's certain things you said that you're not with. One of the big headlines that hit Fresh Radio Vibes was the occupation of the building in a compound town. Shed some light on that, because people are saying that the land is yours, but the building is built for the Maroon government, and that gives right to the present colonel to go in and occupy it and do what he sees fit, seeing that he's elected. Shed some light on that for me.
Let me tell you something now.
Yes.
I have written to the Commissioner of Police. I am still awaiting a reply, because if Richard is not out of that building within a couple days and restore it to its original condition, then you will hear something else. Reason being, no Maroon. When I say not one single cent in that building was donated by a Maroon or for the Maroon cause. The only Maroon that contribute towards that is a sister of mine. She lived in England, and she and her sons, the family were out here the other day, and we passed the building, and she said, well, boy, look at that. Because I tell you something, if Maroon have anything in that, why, Rasgadai, let me tell you.
Yes.
If for one Friday evening, while it was being constructed, one Friday evening, I was late with that money. You hear me say, if me late, let me talk in a few one language. If me ever late, we go pay them. Them strike.
And these were workers. These were workers who was from the community.
Maroon, yes. They strike. And they charge 2 times the amount that they would charge ordinary persons.
No.
As they rightly say.
No.
As they rightly say.
Yes.
As they rightly say, the land that it was built on belongs to me. I have gone to 6 other places to have a building constructed to be the colonel office, and I was turned down. Listen, I personally has donated 3 acres of land to Namaro, Edward and Carol Barnett to build a building which they are claiming that was it. And they have it for over years and did nothing. Right now, if they're talking about construction and whatever, they should look on a building that Nama Rowe Edwards have, not mine, because nobody ever contributed toward be it services or material towards that building. And if this is so, that you are saying that it was named, say, well, you're building it for the Maroon.
But
why then?
No. Why I ask that question is because the bank for the Lumi, it's our understanding that it's located in that building.
Of course.
So,
but
talk to me.
Yes, I am going to say to you now that the Lumi, right?
Yes.
Chief Timothy McPherson and I form a partnership.
Yes.
Right? To establish the Lumi. Because I figure every nation should have their own currency. Right?
Yes.
Lo and behold, you have person in a compound, and as you say, through the diaspora, who don't believe in that. And I can assure you that it was going good until we actually elude two big government saying that we cannot have a bank. It is still my intention to have this building as soon as Richard Curry and his little, as soon as Richard Curry return it to its original state, bring back what they have taken out, because they didn't tell you that they loot it.
When you say taken out, office fixtures or
they loot everything. I have not gone there to see it, but I was told what was removed from it. I know what I have inside there, and as I said before, I was waiting. I am still waiting, because Curry want to do things as he feel like. The Constitution. Did anybody tell you that Curry is right over the Constitution by himself?
I would love for you to go in details with that, because you're the farmer, you know these intricate details. Was the Constitution re-edified by the office that Richard Curry is running now?
Write it all over by himself. Nobody.
The community didn't have a say as to the rewritten of the Constitution for the Maroons?
No, sir. You a few. He's choosing a few. He's choosing, and if you are going to write over the Constitution, because let me tell you something, there are some things in it that I personally would have removed. And there are things that I would have added.
Yes.
The only thing, I don't want to call person name, but Richard and about 5 others lock up in a house. All right, it take 3 days and go it all over without the input of any Maroon. Separate and apart. Well, you know,
yes.
Rasgadai?
Yes.
Let me tell you something. You have some persons who, if they say that they want to do things, they just go ahead and do it, and it's either their way or the highway. And let me tell you something now. I'm surprised that they don't tell you that big hullabaloo is going on in a kampong now.
As to?
Nobody
As
tell
to?
you that.
I heard at the last meeting where the funds was disclosed as to the festivity and people walk out of the meeting, but you have people denying that I spoke to Queen Mother and they say that nobody's in a compound
Listen.
Yes.
Let me tell you something now. Mm-hmm. You're talking about Avis Row and the person that I'm called Queen Mother?
Yes.
Listen, let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
You need to talk to other persons. You know why persons don't come out? They're afraid.
Afraid of who?
They are afraid of Richard Curry. You know something?
Yes.
I know Opal is going to cut off my head for saying this.
Opal, you're listening. Don't cut off the colonel, please. Yes.
Because she, say, well, don't you ever say more than what. But you remember, I don't know if you remember, Meredy and I.
Yeah, I know Mr. Meredy.
All right. Before that, 5 persons went on air to, express their disgust as to what was going on in a camp. And all 5 was threatened. All 5 were threatened.
By the Richard Curry administration?
By Richard Curry administration. I was threatened. And in fact, not only me, my whole family was threatened. Wow. If Ferron ever do so, and so, we're going to kill off the whole family. We're going to kill them one by one.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
I tell you something.
Yes.
I personally, and I said to the person who said that, I said, but you would have to go start killing yourself because we are cousins.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what the person said? Why, me really shouldn't say that, Me really shouldn't say that. I tell you something. I bet nobody tell you that my cousin, that's my uncle's son named Shirley Williams.
Yes.
L.A. will tell you about him.
Mm-hmm.
He was taken out of the town by Richard Curry and taken to Black River because an allegation was made that he, the case is before the court. Yes. A certain allegation was made.
Yes.
And the mere allegation, Richard Curry take him out of the town. And you know what is really, really hard? The bus that Richard Curry, the 30-seater bus, which was donated by the government of Jamaica, to be exact, Honorable Babsy Grange, Minister of Culture. I would better go through the other one, the long thing.
Yeah.
Richard used the bus and take Shirley and hand him over to the police. You know why? While his campaign was going on, he went to Shirley to solicit vote. Took $10,000 to Shirley to buy his vote, and Shirley tell him that he's not for sale and he can't vote against his cousin.
So bribing took place in the election, then you're saying? A lot of bribing where people were off.
A lot of that, man. A lot. We're talking about millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. If I had maybe, let me say 5, Richard Curry would not be the colonel. But I tell you what, if you look at the number,
yes,
2,897, something like that.
Yes.
And we have about 1,000 because that vote. Because here what happened, some of the persons, them say, well, them take him money so them can vote against him. Persons who take the money and vote for him. You know, Rasgadai,
yes,
let me tell you, because I, sit and, them Jamaican old time saying, woodpecker say, when having I head before him tell him lick it bang tree.
Yes.
I sat, and as I said before, I am watching the this administration.
But let me ask a question. Are you fearful of your life from Richard Curry administration?
Well, I tell you something.
Yes.
Well, yes, because nowadays one cannot take threat light.
You are fearful of Richard Curry administration. And at this time, I'm asking anyone who's listening, if you have reached out to the Colonel / Chief several times to hear his take, because he's running a public office for the Maroon. This is not his private business. This is the office of the Maroon, and we have all right to question anyone who takes up that. No,
listen.
Yes, continue.
Wait there. Wait there.
Yes.
You see, when I start, and that is the reason why, Rasgadai, I keep my mouth shut.
Yes.
Because when I start to talk, and when I am talking, if I don't have facts, I don't.
Okay.
You ever hear a thing with them called GoFundMe?
Yes, I'm seeing some talk in the chat about some GoFundMe. Talk to me.
Listen. Well, you need to talk to something.
Yes.
You need to talk to him about that.
In what capacity? Is there a GoFundMe for the Maroon, or is a GoFundMe for Richard Curry? What's a GoFundMe for?
The Maroon and the water project. I'll let nobody tell you that there was water in the pipe up there, right?
I have spoken to Daniel. I'm about to get him online, but it's my understanding that before Richard Curry, there was some effort to see that water reach to the community of Akongpong. I don't know how the development.
We usually have running water there.
Talk to me.
We usually have running water in our pipe. So it wasn't something that was hard to get back.
Yes.
Let me tell you some of my achievement.
Yes.
Because Richard and would want people to believe that I did nothing over these years. And before I come off the air, I would want for him to say, what has he done over 2 years? Separate apart from taking the government support.
Hold on, Daniel, hold on. I think Daniel just joined us. We have Colonel Ferron Williams on the line. Daniel Z. Basra just joined us a while ago. And of course, Daniel is acquainted with you. I'll allow him to say grand rising to you. Daniel?
Yeah, man. Blessed love to everybody listening on the program, you know.
Right.
Sending love. Mr. Williams, much respect, sir. You know?
Right, Daniel. What's up, huh?
Okay.
Well, we're staying alive, you know. We're staying alive, you know. We're blessing bad mind with the brightest good mornings.
Oh, Christ.
Okay. You see.
Yes.
I tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
As we talk about Daniel.
Yes.
I tell you, you know, one of the things that Richard would want people to believe that he is the brightest person that ever come from a campus.
Yes.
This is nothing like that. Nothing like that. You see, Prescott,
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Nothing like that. He want to, have people believe that, oh, I went to Monroe and I am. Richard goes to Monroe. Other person went to different school.
Yes.
Right now, I hate, and I know my brother, who is the principal.
Yes.
For their compound primary, is going to say, why did you put me in your conversation with the public?
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I am certain when he went to
Monroe College.
Michael. My brother went to Rossi.
Yes.
Because I'm living in Hanover. I took him when he was 10 years old, and he went to Rossi.
Yes.
He would have gone to Monroe if he was in St. Elizabeth.
Yes.
But he went to, and I tell you, from. Yes, go ahead.
But Colonel, seeing that we have Daniel on the line and we touch on the water project, I want to ask Daniel some crucial questions.
Let me first make a point before you ask.
I will call you Queen Mother. Queen Mother, give me a minute. That's who will call you back. Yes. Continue.
I must also add that the principal of the compound primary, Mr. Rowe, is my fraternity brother. He and I lived on the same building at the University of the West Indies.
Mm-hmm.
We are fraternity of Attica, Block D, Taylor Hall.
Yes.
So I had the blessed experience of saying that I was at UWI with Mr. Rowe, Mr. Ferron Williams' brother.
Mm-hmm.
We have a bond from there. We don't pass each other because they live together on the same building. Make sure one another had food. And if a man miss a class, a man take a note feed. So just what it was.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So there is lots of potential, Right now, as Mr. Ferron said, there's young people in a compound with 19 CXC, and we don't say a concerted effort to make sure that this child gets.
Okay.
I tell you something. Wait there,
Yes.
You know something? The bus was donated so that the children could be taken to school.
Mm-hmm.
As also to go on cultural trip. Over the 2 years, that bus had not taken one child to school from a compound. Wow. And it is sitting there. The only thing that they use that bus to do is to go to parties and dance.
So I wonder if it's a said bus that I see Richard Curry went on a demonstration about the cockpit road.
That is what. That is the very bus.
So he has been utilizing the bus in some capacity. Daniel, the colonel just
no.
Continue.
Not. Listen.
No, because one of the things is that the bus can be used for as many things as possible. What is
designated for?
No. Anything for the community's benefit.
Yes.
Once the community involved, whether to carry people to school, or some community want to plan a beach trip, or if there's a function that they want, that's okay. The issue is that there is no plan and process in program that will bring in constant inflows to finance the bus.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to work the bus. We are indigenous people. There are things we can do You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
To finance. Now, when the children, because remember, you know, even if the bus is to carry kids down to school every morning, to Magati or Santa Cruz, wherever, it has to be fueled, and the driver has to be put in places, programs that will generate the funds to finance this. One of the things about leadership is that certain things must be done. It's like feeding your kids. There's no profit return from feeding your kids. There's no profit return from buying toilet paper. You flush it, but it must be bought. So there are certain things that you must spend money on. It doesn't about bringing back money. So you have to figure out a way. How am I going to get the funding to make sure that the bus have gas and the driver get paid, carry the kids to school, because the issue is carrying the kids to school. So this is where the present administration is lacking in brain competence.
But Buzra, don't forget that the children are paying their fares. I am not saying that it should be done free. I do know that it's not water run it, and even if a water run it, then you have to purchase the water.
Yeah, man, because it's a simple system where you could easily sell the fare to the parent. Nobody is saying that. 3 trips in the morning, 3 trips in the evening, you pay X for the week or for the month, and we pick up the ticket and guarantee that.
No. Each day, as it operates now, each morning the children pay their fare to and fro.
No, but Colonel, under your administration, the bus was there, and was it put in that capacity to assist the young people while you were Colonel?
I tell you something.
Yes.
When I get the bus,
yes,
it was a couple a month or so on before, and Richard and his team threatened to burn up the bus, saying that it's not bus they want. Listen, wait, allow me to finish.
Yes.
They threatened to burn up the bus, saying that they don't want bus, or water them want. I had to remove the bus from the community and park it at the Lacovia police station. It was there for almost 2 months because they threatened to burn it up.
And this was coming
as soon as I get the bus.
Yeah, this was coming from the president.
From Richard from Richard and his group.
I've been asked. Yes, continue.
No. Let Daniel.
Yes.
Because you see, he was there. Let him say whether or not, if the bus wasn't have to be taken from the community.
The bus was moved to Lakota. It was moved to Lakota.
And I am asking. Okay, you're not refuting. Okay.
No, man.
Good.
You see, and like I said, one of the big issues, guys, is that what we find in the administration is that there is very little holistic approach to anything. Everything is taken personal. So then, the bus other potential developmental aspects.
Yes.
Everything is taken personal. So the man who is a plumber, he only wants to hear about water projects. He doesn't see the benefit of something that will benefit the whole community. He only sees the benefit of something that will benefit him. And this has been a downfall. It's a selfishness. Mm-hmm. For example, even one of the things I find in our company is that there are many. You have some 50-year-old man who's still on the playing field, not supporting his children and his grandchildren, but competing with his sons and his grandsons in the same marketplace. That means there's no progression, because there's no way that I, at 50, should be doing the same thing as my son at 27. It meant that when I was 27, I didn't do what I should have done then. I'm trying to do it now. If I see my son, I've done so many business, start being a part of Kuya, so many fundamental aspects of business in this island that I'm looking forward to assisting my sons and my daughters and providing them with the information and the connections that I would have done over the years. I'm not going to be competing with them. And this is one of the things we find, is that there's no program of guidance looking out for the youth, because the big man at 50 odd, we should have look out for the 20-year-old youth. If something come in our town, he want it too.
You know something?
Every opportunity for him wants it. Him can't let that go to the youth.
As Buzzard speak about something coming into the town, let me say, well, you know, from what I gather, cell phone, a large portion was given to be distributed.
When?
For Maroon.
When? Since the last gathering?
Listen, Gadites, we're going to explain to you in its entirety.
Okay.
Just listen. A donation was made at the 6th of January celebration, right, of some funds, and there was an announcement made about monies being that $1 million or so that was going to be presented along with whatever was collected. So these are the things. And then there are people who are questioning, why is it that the chief does not mention these things? He just pretends like it don't happen, that there's no word about it. But then that's the thing we're talking about. Like I said, opportunities that come into the town, everybody tries to seek it. Nobody sees the holistic level. Everybody tries to see it.
It's a personal thing.
Level.
Okay.
Right, but it is okay for the young men to be thinking that. You understand?
Yeah.
At 50, if I can bring a link, come give a youth an opportunity for help, I would have been a failure at 50. If I cannot provide a connection for one 20-year-old in a company, then I should classify myself and put a sign on my forehead saying waste man.
Stick a pin right there, so because Miss Laurelyn she's been listening from Canada, and she wants to ask the Colonel, the former Colonel, a few questions. Before I bring him in though, Richard has come out with a paperwork stating corruption, money laundering, and hiding of funds in the sum of 200 million euro that was placed in the Akongpong Bank. All of the assumption. These paperwork, Daniel know what I'm talking about. Colonel, can you shed some light on that, whether or not these amount of money that been put forward has been missing by the Korea administration is factual, or is it a fictitious story?
Fictitious stories. Fictitious stories. I tell you what, Richard gone to the bank, and let me tell you, remember earlier I said, well, persons will be hearing from my lawyer, including the National Commercial Bank. This includes the National Commercial Bank. Reason being, am I to understand then that you, Rasgadai,
yes,
can go to the Bank of America, and open an account, and then because you say, well, the account is to develop Brooklyn. Anybody from Brooklyn can come and say, I live in Brooklyn. I am the governor for Brooklyn. So I want access to that account.
Not with some regulations. They have to get authority.
Not at all, guys.
Yes.
Not at all.
Not at all.
No, if I start a company name, a compound industrial, just because it use the name a compound, every Maroon or anybody associated with Maroon has the right to use that name in anything they want. Nobody has a copyright on the name.
On the name.
Not because a bank account says a compound development fund does not mean it belongs to a compound town. That's the name of the company that the persons associated with it choose to use.
That is what I am speaking of, Bozra. I tell you something. And I tell you, you know, you have persons, Ras Gadai.
Yes.
I don't know why persons like Buzra, who usually be very, very outspoken, has taken let me see, backward position as far as
here I am speaking. We only speak when there's something to speak about. Now, for the last 4 months, what was there to speak about? What has Mr. Curry done? What was going on for you to even make a comment about?
About it?
My mother told me exactly. Mommy teacher for
all right.
shit.
You ask a question. You ask a question, Buzzer. So allow me to answer. Am I to understand that you, Buzzer, who are familiar with the funding, especially the gate receipt, are you saying that you believe that is only $1.6 million was collected?
Sir, I was on it, sir. With all respect, sir. With all much respect. As I say, you were in class with my uncle and my mother. You understand? So as a respectful elder, I still like I said to you, I was on this program earlier this month, detailing the impossibility. Because the mere fact that when it was $500, you collected 1.3. No, we do maths. Maths is the living God. When it was when it was $500, you collected 1.3 million. That would have meant that 2,600 people came through the gates. Wait, let me finish the maths. Now, if you have based it to $1,000 and you collect 1.6, you're trying to say that is only 1,600 people you collect from the gate when there was over 10,000 people going through the gate. The math's impossible, sir.
Hold on.
Something is wrong. It may not personally be. No, we must be open and honest. It may not personally be the purvey of the
and
chief.
This is what I am saying.
But somewhere along the line, based on the number of people that came into a compound town and the cost of $1,000 at the gate, there's no way 10,000 people can come in at the gate.
Hold on.
Buzra, what you did not, Buzra, is that even Maroons were charged. Because I understand somebody was saying.
Hold on.
Little math is relevant.
But hold on.
The big math.
Hold on.
I don't have time to speak to the little math.
All right, we're not saying into the little math. But hold on.
10,000 people, over 10,000 people came through the gate at $1,000 a person. Let us say 2,000 were let in. There's still 8,000. Now, 8,000 times $1,000 is $8 million. Give and take, plus or minus $1.5 million. You're still supposed to present at least 6 million, point odd million. Now, what I will also say is that it may not be the purvey because the colonel was chief was up and down doing all kinds of things.
Yes.
So the issue begins with verification and veracity
of the gate,
of the handling of the gates.
Yes. Hold that thought, because I do have Miss Laurelyn, and she was at this year's celebration, and she been sending a lot of messages. Grand Rising, Laurelyn, Great Queen Mother, how you doing? I have former Colonel Williams and Daniel on the line. Say good morning, Grand Rising to them, please, and welcome.
Grand Rising, good morning, and bless up to all Kinder family. One love.
Yes, one love. You've been listening the Colonel.
Kinder.
Yes, you've been listening the Colonel, and the Colonel say he doesn't come here this morning for any division, but he's here to set the record straight as far as his tenure as Colonel for Akongpong Town versus what is transpiring now under the Curry administration. What do you want to say?
Yes, first I want to big up my family. Buzra, bless up family.
Yes.
All right.
Love is the law. Love is the law. Love is the law that we obey.
Yes. And first of all, I want to ask the former colonel something. And I want him to give me my time, like how everybody get their time.
Okay.
I want to talk.
Yes.
I want to know now something, just one quick question before I get into it. Ferron Williams, former colonel, do you know that Chief Curry have a mother and a fatherless, and he's a fatherless kid? I'm asking you that. How do you feel? Her mother feel now in her belly to know that you say he's afraid of his son because his son threatened your life. Do not do that because only you alone know that. Nobody in a compound know that. Nobody in a compound know that. And the things that you don't want to when Grand Rising asking you the question, then you're going to go with some cock and bull story. But when you know your knack pants would like take up, stop it. Talk the truth and don't hide the truth. You're hiding the truth. Okay. All right. My time now. No.
You have to make him answer. Let him answer the question, Queen Mother. Hold on. Let him answer the question.
Don't do that. Okay. Answer about the guy that he have a mother. Answer.
About the what?
The threat that you're fearful for your life. You being fearful for your life.
I want you to answer about it. Chief have a mother. So answer the question.
Hold on.
Chief have a mother for you. What are you talking about? So am I to understand that because my mother dead and because my father dead, that somebody don't threaten me? I don't have a life?
No, she's saying that the fact that you put out a while ago is untrue. Lurleen, do you have any proof to that, Lurleen? Because this is the former colonel with Mr. Curry usually being his PR officer, and he's coming out straight saying that he fears for his life as to how Richard Curry's governance, and you're saying that is unheard of. That is not.
Chief Gadai.
Yes. Ras Gadai.
Grand Rising.
Yes.
Grand Rising.
Yes.
You know that since I'm talking to you, I get a text message. Chief was not on his platform. Chief was not on his platform. Chief was not on his platform.
What
Chief
platform?
was not on his platform.
What platform?
His colonelship. His colonelship.
Oh, he wasn't part of the administration of Colonel Ferron Williams. He was not.
Chief Curry was not.
Okay.
Sorry. My granddaughter tell me to them. Sorry, because I get so anxious when I hear.
Don't get anxious.
When I hear false allegation.
All right, so
he was not.
But this is the colonel saying that he was the public relation officer under his administration. You're disputing that.
Yes, listen. Yes, like how his concubine was the secretary and nobody in a compound know her as secretary. Nobody knows he's a secretary. And if he going to want to stand up Mr. Curry like that, I myself will take him to court for it because that is public mischief.
All right, hold that thought.
I'm so upset.
All right, Don't get upset. Just relax because we're all Kinder family and we're not in a dispute. We're having a reasoning. No, Colonel, refute that because you are in the position to say whether or not you have been in the office that Richard is occupying right now, and you have blatantly said a while ago that it's your knowledge that he was public relation under your administration, and that is factual in your book, right?
I tell you something.
Hold on, Llewellyn, let the man talk. Llewellyn, let the man talk. Yes. Go ahead, Colonel.
I tell you something.
I just get nervous now.
Listen, I tell you something.
Yes.
These person like she figure more or less than that shouting.
Yes.
Can resolve things. We have things in writing.
Okay.
And Richard Curry can tell you whether or not he emailed us and whether or not he has attended meeting. For me, not only that, what Lurleen don't understand is that even the day and to date that I took Richard to Parliament along with me. I took Richard when the boundaries were being finalized by the Honorable Prime Minister. Lurleen only run up her mouth because she figure more or less than nice do this thing.
No, I will not say that.
I am going to say that, Bodra.
No,
I am going to say that.
No, what I would say is that you are now revealing information that she was not prior privy to. She was not aware of it. You have to. One of the things I learned as a learned man, Ferron, one of the things I admit is that the only time you learn is when you admit you don't know.
Okay.
So she's now coming to a realization that she didn't know about this arrangement.
Stick up.
You say that there's documentation to prove that you had seconded Mr. Curry as a representative for meetings you could not go into Kingston.
Hold that
she don't
thought.
know about that.
Hold that thought, because
she's just learning about it.
We do have a letter, Lurleen, with I think it's Richard Curry asking for authenticity, that he lives in a compound town, and I think this letter is signed by the colonel on the line right now. Miss Lurleen, do you know anything about that? As far as him getting the ganja license and getting the authenticity that he is from a compound town through the office of Colonel Williams?
No.
Okay, as Basra said a while ago, there's a lot of things.
There now again, Gadites, is a quandary that must be resolved.
Yes.
And must be made understood, because everybody speaks about transparency.
Yes.
But
when you see now as being a person I am now, I'm going to open my eyes and I'm going to read as much and see everything come and understand more. But what I want to ask now, listen. I would like to know, who is Ferron Williams to question the integrity of anyone, especially the chief? Where is the $1 million missing from the Compound Development Foundation account in Santa Cruz? Your other half was listed as treasury of the bank of a compound bank account. Where are the money? Do you know where the money went? Why was the account secret to the community? It was a secret to the community.
Hold on, no, wait a minute. This is where I will interject. It was not a secret, because Dennis Foster, myself, and the Compound News put it out there, and we were hated for the community. Because remember that when we were educated and got good school and taught multiple language, was saying to Maroons, it's not going to work. Maroon said, we want rich, and we don't know where we are chat, but they are not Rasta and him dance. And there was Maroons going to Santa Cruz telling people, say, yes, we are going to open them. Him can't read and write, but in there Santa Cruz, I tell people, say, yes, man, we are going to reach, we are going to have a bank. And for this, Mr. Dennis Foster was persecuted by those who, in the lack of knowledge, was thinking that they were going to reach off this concept of a bank. So you see, the issue is not ever the successive administrations. The issue is not about Mr. Curry or Mr. Ferron or Brother Martel or any of the leaders. The issue has to do with the mindset, the heart, and the character of the townspeople themselves, and what they choose to support, how intelligent they are in their approach of what they support. Because we are seeing people keep meeting in the town, until the entire town line, and the next man in the whole town are repeat. I say, yeah, man, them they're going to do this to it. Them have license to do that and do that. Right, never goes up. Hold on, here's one of the issues. With the ganja program came to my company, Mummy. I have Jamaica's first cannabis NGO, Canna Green Development. When the program came, they were looking. I was the only known Maroon cannabis business, still is legally. I could not go to the meeting. I called Richard Curry. I said, Richard, this meeting is in Kingston. I have a letter. I'm going to email you the letter. Go to a meeting here and represent the thing. I said, Richard, it come to my company, but this is for the town. Richard went, him called me and said, yes, we got to. It reached to the point that Kenrick went to Morocco and Colombia on the United Nations funding, right? When the finances was to be released from the Ministry of Health, from the Ministry of Finance. Now, something like this are going involving millions of dollars that to come into the community. And Richard Perry came and said, why they take the program, why? Somebody said, Richard, we have to fight it. Boy, I can't bother, I gotta look at license for myself. And he went and got a private CLA ganja license and violated the same sovereignty that him talking now, When him bring that CLA license coming to the compound and leave standing in a compound and bring, he attempted to give CLA jurisdiction over my own lands, and that's a violation of my sovereignty. The same man now as chief is going to pretend like him. That's a pretend to me. You can't ask him to be stupid. Because when it benefited you, you never respect the sovereignty. You carry your ganja license coming in Maroon Town. And the young men who should have been working in the ganja program end up working over your farm for your private business. Almost like you scoop opportunity from under the people them foot. No, it's not a baby money in a mummy. You ignore it because you don't understand the money. It came to me. I was a part of the Ganja Growers Association of Mandeville. I was a research and development officer, being in all information I have. Whether or not Maroons respect it, that's a beside the point. The world knowing 1,000 Maroon in a compound cannot matter. If the world declares some have the head enough. Una think is what una think. It's not going further than what una think. It's not going to manifest the reality.
All right.
We got the program. Now listen.
Yeah.
There was millions that was coming to fund from the UN. A lab was supposed to set up in a compound. Pumps, water, everything to grow 2 acres of ganja for 2 years. Now, 2 acres of ganja, if you grow 500 pounds at $1,000 an acre, would have been 500,000 US dollar every 3 months coming to Maroon Town. So when me see Richard Curry had that in him hand and couldn't stand up and defend it for Maroon and say, me can't bother, make a look license for myself. I never stand up and defend that for the Maroon people. Mm-hmm. That would have been $500,000 US dollar every 3 months. That would have been $2 million US dollar for a year. Guaranteed sale coming with an international United Nations shipping license that ganja that grow under the UN program can ship anywhere in the world. All of that would have been $4 million US dollars. Half would have gone to the young men that would have been part of the farming, and the other half would have gone to the community. How come Richard Curry never stood up to defend that? That was free money given to the UN and the same ganja program that everybody had jumped on now. And then after him leg of that program there, get a private license himself and don't produce nothing with that private license either. Comes now and says to Maroon, puts out, says he wants to go and work at the Ganja Association, the same Ganja Association that tried to trick Maroons out of their state. There is lots to be answered for, and what Maroons are not going to do, and I will never be able to do, is to prove Daniel Z. Buzzer wrong. From Mona Prep straight to Master University, we have a 96% average. That means most of the time we're right. I have to be because I'm a Rasta. I know another question when I say, now a question when Richard Curry says as a bald tail.
Yeah.
But through me a Rasta, when me talk it, what do you know about? But when Richard, so one of the things is that Richard Curry has never presented any documentation to validate nothing that him say no. Him just talk and wanna believe, you know.
But hold on.
This is not about saying. A man cannot say a girl is his wife if he can't produce a document, a marriage certificate.
Excellent.
So if you're going to tell me that the United Nations said they might give the program to the man, they show me the letter where the United Nations write and says, Mr. Curry, as per so and so, we're going to have to take the program and send it down. If you can't show me that, it's a liar.
So hold on.
Because you work in corporate Jamaica in banking. In banking, you must present every information. So how when you're in the bank, you have to do full accounts every day of whatever transaction. And you work in banking, you're corporate functional. So how you not bring that corporate functional high standard to Maroon business?
The Colonel.
And when you question the high standard, you know what you do? You say, man, come kick off Dennis Pastor, the police, CETA, counter-terrorism unit, have the phone calls between Richard Curry and the policewoman down at Magati Station and the rest of them. So we're not asking for
I need to say something.
We are telling you that there is corruption.
Daniel,
and
hold on.
Nobody can hear what you cannot do. 1,000 Maroons can. 1,000 Maroons in a compound do not have my voice. Anytime I decide that I'm going to declare the truth to the world, wait. You people are sleeping and need to wake up. You need to get over your own bad mind of yourself.
Hold on, Daniel.
Mr. Buzram.
Yes.
Mr. Buzram.
What you want to say? Because I want to get back to the Colonel.
Ferron Williams. Ferron was there for 13 years.
11 years.
More.
11 years.
11 years.
Yes.
How much Maroon account he ever bring out to the people? Every year after 6th of January, he say, we not make no money. We lose. And all the people them, did anybody get paid? 98% of the people them did not get paid.
Hold on, Daniel. This is the Colonel. Go ahead.
Williams, I'm just saying too.
Yes.
He come out and he said nobody there to pay them. We lose. But every 2 weeks, Me turn up in Santa Cruz and see he leave Hanover, come up here, and Gerald Rowe, Williams or whatever she name, and a different person, meet him at the bank and take out that maroon money and give to him, and he return back where he come from. He do not reside in a compound. I don't think that him for a night when he was a colonel.
All right.
Because number one,
hold on. Let the colonel address this, please.
This is the detraction. Listen, we are not discussing Ferron's tenure. Everyone knows that even all this lady attack when we the community were up there.
Where is she living? Where is she living? Where is she living?
She just came from a compound town. She gone back up. But we're not
discussing Ferron's tenure. We're discussing what is happening now. So there's no comparison about what did happen then, or what Ferron did then. We're talking about now. No.
Listen.
But let the colonel answer. Yes, answer.
One thing. And listen.
Yes.
Let me tell you, that person, Lurleen, she's living in Canada, right?
Yes.
She is living in Canada. Rascadai.
Yes.
I live in Jamaica. I live in Lucy and a compound.
Yes.
You see what she's saying about every person that ever do anything. And brother, you can confirm, or other person in the compound can confirm. I have not leave a compound without paying everybody who do any work during the 6th of January.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike you see, unlike the present administration, I have to pay them before I leave. When I pay, and if everybody, and usually it's the big persons, when I say the big persons who don't get paid, every small man, I am talking about everybody who work on 5,000, they get paid. I might owe St. Bess, who provide goods and services, as also a lady by the name of Colonel Mackenzie Rowe.
Yes.
She usually get like 150,000. And you see, when the money don't make to pay, I would say to her, listen, I have to go and get the money because we don't have any money. And then I would return.
Yes.
Listen.
Yes.
I would return within a month. Where do I get the money? Sometimes I have to go to the bank, the Hanover Cooperative Credit Union, or the National Commercial Bank, and borrow to pay. I am saying to me, Rascadai, and all the persons who are listening now, I have not received one God Almighty cent out of maroon money, because my grandfather always tell me that if you take maroon money, the ancestors will see to it.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's working on you now.
I have never.
Hold on now.
I tell you something, Lurleen. I tell you what happened, Lurleen. You personally, it is working on you, because maybe that is why you talk so much.
Yeah,
maybe your senses is going.
But Colonel, do not go into that avenue.
As I said before,
let us keep it objective.
As I said before, Rascadai.
Yes.
If I know that you're going to have.
No, Ferron, you know why? You know why me stay on the politics? Me wait till me work. I have what I want, because none of you can tell me that I come in politics and get nothing. So I make sure I work for what I want.
Don't talk over nobody. Do not talk over nobody.
Hold on.
What kind of work to do, Lurleen?
What happened?
What kind of work to do, Lurleen?
Colonel, do not, Colonel, respect your office, Colonel. Do not go. She as a public figure, and you are a public figure, but respect your office. Daniel, you were saying? Yes.
Rasgadites. Wait, no, Rasgadites.
I worked for the city of Toronto for 30 years in Canada. I worked for the city of Toronto in Canada for 30 years. And I work for the Toronto Association.
Learning. We did not entertain that because we are not going to, there's no reason to decry.
We're talking about Maroon business, not personal business.
Right, there's no reason to decry any of us.
No.
Right, so we...
But you ask me where I work.
All right. Relax.
Because you said that...
No moment. All if I did a man of mine, you're a queen, and if a man did take up on a mine, that is not nobody's business.
Yes.
That's irrelevant to the development of Maroon community. Wait, no. Here is what we need to
hold on, Colonel.
Look at. Let's stop getting personal. Because what it is, you know, it is clear, and to everyone listening, that there are not proper systems in place. Because big corporations run thousands of workers, and they can show you how money goes. For example, a compound has a treasurer. This is not a youth club. Where's the accounting firm? There are Maroons in administration, in the present administration, who are trained accountants. Why is not? And that's how we know it. You're supposed to do it to the highest standard. You're supposed to have an accountant. You're supposed to have the accountant set up the bank account. And this bank account is for petty cash. So when something to go on, or if the chief want to drive, go somewhere, car for gas up, and food for whatever the man needs. That's one account, petty cash. And there must be a developmental account. I want to deal with the old people and children. And we must see money trails. And say, this year we made $10,000 US, we send 2,000 to that account to take care of that. And here's the receipts of what it bought. That means it's a chief. Go up on the road and buy gas. The receipt must be handed over back
to the treasurer.
To the treasurer. It's not a youth club. To the accountant.
I'll tell you something.
So where was it for the farmer colonel? Where was it for the farmer colonel?
No,
where was it for the farmer colonel?
Hear what we're saying. What we're saying, we're not discussing errors.
Hold on, discuss it. She want to discuss it, so discuss it.
Hold on, the colonel wants to say something. Hold on, Daniel, hold on. What you saying, Colonel?
I am going to say to her,
yes,
my name was never, ever placed in a Maroon account. Never. Unlike Richard Curry, who have his name in it and who control everything. My name was never placed there. And she spoke about Gerald Rowe. Fine. Gerald is not a supporter of mine. She is a supporter of Richard Curry, so she can say, because as I say to you, Rasgadai,
yes,
my integrity is above board. I'm penny squabbling. I can't. I tell you something.
Yes.
And believe me, as I said before, I have never, ever gotten 1 cent out of Maroon money. And
hold on,
I tell you,
hold on, Basra. Make it Colonel finish. Yes.
Whenever time, when we announce, because how can Lurleen, who stay over Canada, and she's not here every 6th of January, and I can tell you some of Curry's administration, they are, in fact, all of who are supporting Curry, they can tell you,
yes, Daniel,
when I have.
Alright, Lurleen and all of that. No, make it take the thing bigger now. Please,
yes.
My elders.
Yes.
The issue is, all of what both Lurleen and Ferron is talking, that shouldn't have been a discussion, because they're supposed to have been. So even if the treasurer gave Ferron $200,000 out of the community bank account, she's supposed to know that she will make Ferron sign a receipt. We have a receipt book.
All right.
So Ferron, and that means we're supposed to be able to go through and show the track of every dollar. Now, here's what scares me, is that these are people that are business people that run businesses. So this should have been commonplace. If you're dealing with the community thing at the highest, Because if I'm giving something to do, most of my knowledge did not come from me knowing it enough. Listen now.
I tell you something.
Yes. Most of what me talk about for Maroon development didn't come from me knowing it. It came from my genuine desire to want the best for Maroon Town. So I have to go research and go study for the next 2 months and read one whole book to find out how to do the thing the best. That's all it's supposed to be. So, you understand me? So all this money argument would not have been if there was a simple thing as a receipt. So if Gerald, every money that the colonel give out, him get a receipt in show it. So they couldn't. Them can't tell the chief say him spend out the money. Them can show say here I gave this to that company to pay for that. I have to pay that shop man. I have to pay this person. Everybody. You're supposed to be able to do that.
But what we're getting at now is that Richard Curry is a banker. He knows about financial. So any discrepancy that the former colonel have, we had expected Richard to do better. And if we're going to use the example of the former colonel to justify this office, I think that is irrelevant. We know that Richard, and as the colonel has put forward.
John Rassai?
Yes.
Listen.
Yes.
Let me tell you something now. Richard has been asking for Mocha to come and investigate.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to join him and ask that Mocha come and investigate from 2009 to now. And let the trick lie wherever it is. I am going to ask that the outside government, which they are clamoring for, to come and investigate. I am free. I will be freed. I am certain.
You will be having 11 years of accountability. 11 years of accountability.
As I am saying, I will be. Can she count?
11 years.
Hold on now.
I am saying.
This is
hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Here's what I find strange. Listen now.
Yes.
Gadites.
Yes.
Do you know why I'm able to speak most amicably to Ferron Williams? No. Because you see, when he was in power and I thought he was being ineffective,
yes,
I let the world know.
I know.
I did not. Exactly.
I know.
So, having let the world know then, now that he's not in office, I don't have to pick that bone with him because I called out all that I thought were his errors then. So I hope Ella learning would have do that, because here was the thing. The thing is that when I was sitting out against Ferron, many of these same people were grumbling. You understand me? Because they were not about transparency. Some people were get molested in the house and then want to sweep it under the carpet. I saw them people there. We don't want to bring everything out in the open. So here the biggest problem now. Daniel Carey Maroon business gone out in the world. They never forgot the world. They're the biggest, brightest light out of Jamaica. Revolution and liberation. Why it must hide. And when it goes out to the world, it means that our leadership in the future will be forced by virtue of the world looking at them. Let
me take it up a notch then, because people are listening globally, and as I said, the Maroon is a beacon of light to the oppressed globe who is facing a lot of injustice. Our ancestors have fought.
Ask Ferron who beat down the errors, the perceived errors in his administration anymore. Ask him if he had any bigger voice hitting out against him than me.
It was you.
This lady that talking, we never hear them make a speak. Listen up. Here's the hypocrisy.
Hold on. You asked a question. Allow me to answer. And that is, you think constructive criticism?
Yes.
It makes an administration. It makes an individual. Now, when you have persons who are not let me not go down to that level with certain people. Let me not go down that drain with them. Yes. Let me keep it above.
Yeah.
All I am simply saying, sir, and that is, Richard Curry asking for Mocha to come in and to investigate. I will now join Richard Curry to ask that Mocha come in and investigate.
Hold that thought.
Everything.
We have Alma Curry. She's leaving some very strong points here. She say, Ferron Williams, if Richard Curry sent threat to you and the family, you as a retired police inspector, what have you done about the threat? That's a question that Alma is asking.
All right.
What have you done about that threat?
All right. Tell Alma that I have reported it.
Okay.
But ask that nothing be done. Reason being is that my fellow, I remember I said earlier that when two brothers fight.
Yes.
Yeah. And that is the reason. And because you see, some of the things when people report threat, and I am surprised. I am surprised to know that Alma is saying, "What have I done about it?" Because reason being, it wasn't no hidden thing.
It wasn't that hidden.
Hold on now. Let us cut it off.
I am and my family are being threatened.
No.
Come on. What? You see?
Yes, I'm hearing you. She goes on to Anna Marie Rowe. She's jumping to say, "What a wicked man, Ferron. What I don't get is Ferron inabilities to answer questions and stay on point. All focus on the maroon money. I don't get how he's so angry."
Wow. Hold on, Gadites.
Yes.
Gadites.
Yes.
Let me answer that.
Yes.
That money was not maroon money. These people who are talking this, if you give them a document of 20 pages to read, they will not be able to read it and not make an error.
Wow.
They're not competent in the very understandings to criticize the things they're attempting to criticize. They've never read a banking document. They've never gone through the 150 pages document of what the so-called compound bank was. They didn't understand it. All that was sold to them is that, listen, man, so I'm going to tell you now, listen, because it was us. That very account that they're talking about, that account was discovered by myself and Mr. Dennis Oster, Chief of CEO of a Compound News and the Maroon Office of the Secret Service. You know how big Maroon, we dig up all our information. We have the access and the technology and the knowledge. So when we found that account and put that account out there, right? Most Maroons back them can't even read the document to see what they did. So them just said, boy, Dennis and Dane just chat them go on and had them one no thing. And it was ignored. As a matter of fact, Dennis Foster was attacked. Now that account in a corporation that was registered with Mr. Timothy McPherson and others, right? Ferron and whoever else was there, what they were doing at the time. Because the bank account name is the company name, a Compound Development Fund. There is no paper trail to show that it was maroon money. Mr. Curry come in and the information was passed on to him because it was there on a Compound News website. And then he took it up and tried to show, look here now, man, to go as far as to have the bank witnesses of the account and read those out to the town. That's sensationalism, because if there was a crime involved, you don't need to do it. It's supposed to proceed and says, here is this information, and go with that information to the police and say, here is what transpired, here's these withdrawals of this account, it belongs to Maroon. They could not do that. What they did is sensationalize the people and come and read out. That technically is presently there are legal proceedings against Mr. Curry et al. By
listen,
the bank, because for the bank to disclose.
Bozra.
Hold on. All right, I hear you, Ferron. Stop. So because these things must be understood. So everybody that's yapping like they're Chinese need to recognize that they're yapping with no substance. We're saying the documented evidence is there as to where that money comes from in that account. There's no where one Maroon can show that money belongs to Maroons, because it never come in a Maroon account that is owned by Maroons that was set up not to do with the community. Nothing. It's the fact that Timothy was doing a bank, which they were supporting, and up to this 6th of January, we see them up there selling all the money them that Timothy.
Loomis. And where did they get that? When Richard invaded.
Hold on. You're saying that the money, the Lumi, Richard is endorsing it under his administration.
No, I'm
now?
not saying that. I don't know about that. Listen to me. I want to
nothing like that.
I'm not. My issue is this is the thing, you know. I can't bother with name blaming.
John, Rascadai?
Yes.
Rascadai?
Let me hear from the colonel. Let me hear from the colonel.
Bozra.
Yeah.
No. I'm finished giving the detail of that account that Chief Curry talked about and the fact that he had to do a live video. I'm speaking about Dennis's raw imprisonment and how it was because I did a video and saying how you come out and talk about you and your administration. Fine. Stop lie, Richard Curry, about you and your administration for nothing. It was Dennis Rowan of Compound News that presented this information out there a long time ago. But you would not want to give credit. No. And then he did a counter video and came out and spoke about Dennis and apologized for Dennis's incarceration in defense of protecting the Maroons' integrity. Because some people understand that part. So that account, anyone there's no, I say that account has nothing to do with a compound. It was a private business, and we need to let it go because that $1 million is nothing compared to the 500 pounds of wheat that should have been grown at a minimum $1,000 a pound every 3 months. $500,000 US every 3 months that we make $2 million a year, $4 million US over 2 years. We're not talking about that money there.
The colonel. Basra, hold on, Basra.
No, you cannot come now and try to claim the people their money. If it was in the name of a company, the name of a company is other people money. You cannot show no ties to that money. That is what we call black and ready eye information. Make that money. That a young bank, a young colonel.
Basra.
Easy. Let me tell you how easy $1 million.
Basra, we cannot go on in this tempo. We have to have uniform. There's people listening.
So I'm saying, no, but I'm not in a tempo. I am speaking.
Yeah, but you have to. We're having a discussion.
That's what it is.
Ask a question.
But then, no, we're not having a no. We have discussion. Listen to me again.
Is Maroon.
Listen to me. This is not a discussion. I'm presenting information that nobody can counteract. This is a teachings. I only have discussions with my equals, man. If you're intellectually aware, higher than you, you have to listen to me and make me teach you. Humble. The fact that because if we didn't get the information, no Maroon knew about it, and if we never dig it up, I know this conversation would not be happening.
We understand that, Daniel, but I want to hear from the colonel also.
You don't know information come by, talking as if with authority, pretending like them know.
Right.
This is the hypocrisy that pulls us down.
All right, my brother.
This is it right here. We like to look rich and we're never going to be rich.
All right, brother.
And Colonel, we acknowledge yourself in humility. The greatest ability to learn comes from humility. Because you have to humble enough to say you don't know.
Yes.
Until you admit that you don't know, you can't learn.
All right. Colonel, you wanted to pitch in because we have Llewellyn. She wanted to come back in. But Colonel, you were trying to interject a while ago.
I tell you something.
Yes.
Rascadai.
Yes.
I don't want to go down to the gutter with Lurleen.
No.
I tell you what. When you're talking about money.
Yes.
And Bozra can tell you the ganja program. Fine. He knew about it maybe about 2017. I was doing it from 2013. I have no problem with that. I have document can prove to him.
You were growing marijuana under the Maroon license nor under your personal license, like Richard.
Maroon. Okay. Richard applied and have only 20 persons under the Maroon thing. I submitted 195 names.
Okay.
To grow it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But right there, and Buzzer can verify. You see, at the time, Richard applied, and they say, well, no, the colonel. And I say, well, Richard, what you need to do is to say, instead of I, Richard Curry, I send back the application to him and say, put Weavy Maroon.
Mm-hmm.
And he refuses.
That document that he asked to get authenticated by you, you tell him to make a few changes and take off Richard the person and put the community, put the Maroon as the forefront. Yes. And he refused.
And he refused. And I would not sign it until when he eventually heed to that.
So he did put the Maroon on it?
No, he did not put the Maroon. This is what I am saying, Rathgadai.
Yes.
And I had to do one for the Maroon. And this is how he get to apply for a 2-acre plot for himself alone.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
we are talking about accountability.
Yeah.
We are talking about accountability, right?
Yes.
$1 million missing from the account of the Maroon Development Fund. No accountability. But we need the chief.
Yes.
Yes. Why was it in Maroon name? Why was that bank in Maroon name?
Hold on, let him explain.
Why it is in Maroon name?
No,
it wasn't Maroon money. Why it is in Maroon name? $1 million missing from the bank. We need some accountability.
Hold on, Lord.
Because if it was not in the people's name, it is in a compound Maroon name, a compound development fund. The building that was built, it built because nobody would give you a piece of land out on the road to build it. And the money, where the money come from? You say it's your sister money. Where that money is not your sister money, is not no family money, is the Maroon money. And that building handed over by the Governor General as the Maroon place. Not for your sister house, not for your private dwelling, because you don't have a dwelling in a compound, so you would accept that as your dwelling, but you're not going to accept it because I will stand up as nanny. And you will never cross it.
All right, Colonel, you were saying?
I tell you something.
You said.
I tell you something.
Yes.
I tell you something. You hear the type of person?
I think
know.
Yeah.
What facts she has to come?
Yeah, what facts do you have?
Remember I told you?
Yeah.
Remember everything on paper. I have all the facts.
I should hope that Miss Lurling is talking from facts. We do have a lot of curry here on our we have a lot of curry on my feed right here. We have I think it's Margaret Curry.
Marjorie.
Yes, she is chiming in. Alma Curry is also chiming in. I would advise them to ask Richard Curry to come and stand on his own 2 feet. Because just like how I have Daniel here, and I have yes.
Again, the lady asked a question, a compound development fund, and where is that money and accountability for that money?
Yes.
That means in order to effectively answer, we must first come to an understanding of what is the compound development fund. And when you understand what it is, you'll know whether it is Maroons or not Maroon. But a compound development fund is a private corporation registered with the state of Jamaica with private shareholders. So it beats that these shareholders were also doing business in a compound. And they are also a compound Maroons, and they use the name of compound. At no point when we check did we find or did anyone show that money belongs to the Maroons. The only thing that is being used is that because it says a compound development fund, people are saying it belongs to Maroon. No, the breakdown was that this company was set up to pass the funds that Timothy and whoever were going to use to do the bank, whatever they were going to do in the bank in Jamaica, up in a compound, that's where that money should have come through their compound development fund. Mm-hmm. Now the Maroons that are saying the bank, they say these are things that none of these people, so how may I detail it? Yes. There was not one Maroon who came out and tried to give any explanation at all to Maroons, Mm-hmm. So in the ignorance of clarity, Maroons get up and talk what they think not what they believe, because until you read the document and go through the documentation, no one can know what the compound development fund is. You have to look at it and then say, hold on.
Yeah.
And then you go do a company search, do the company registration, and then you will know what their compound development fund is. And you say, but this not really have nothing to do with my own.
Yes.
We can't claim that money.
You see, Rascadai,
Yes.
let me say something.
Yes.
Am I to understand that there is a company named Jamaica Meat Product? Am I to understand that the Prime Minister can come and own it?
No.
Even the Prime Minister?
No, you can't.
Okay.
You can't.
All right. Because, so I tell you something. You educate persons like Lurleen, and you know, I am surprised to hear my cousin, I still refer to her as my cousin,
Yes.
Alma,
Yes.
saying that, you know, what I should do and what I shouldn't do. Reason being,
it is great that is your cousin, because families can have differences. I have sisters that I don't disagree with.
yes, man,
Of course.
I have never yet referred to her without using cause.
Yes.
And
right.
I am certain she likewise, unless it's just no, she's going to do that. But as I said before,
yes,
platforms need. I said to the present administration, we need to set a platform so that Maroons can have these discussions, because
you know something.
People being able to
something.
Because it was usually just a one phone call or hold on. Because these are issues that you can't forget. We have to work them out and figure out how it goes. I know who for forgive and who for apologize to. You understand me?
But Buzzra,
yeah, we're listening, Colonel.
Let me tell Lurleen something.
Yes.
And I am going to say to Alma as well.
Yes.
I have written to Richard since he became, himself a chief man or colonel, since he became colonel. I have written on 3 different occasions, and he refused the letter. He refused. And to be frank with you, I am putting an open letter.
Yes.
I'm putting together an open letter now, which will be in the press to Richard Curry. Not because, and as I said before, I did not want to be colonel for more than 6 months. I called a meeting. Meredy can attest to this. And if it wasn't for Melvin Curry, maybe it would have been Meredy who would have been accused of this thing. Because I tell you what, I know Lurleen said that I am not living in the community. I tell nobody that I want to live in the community. Not now, because if, unlike Richard, where you live in the community, you have to live off a maroon. At his age, you're not working.
Do you know?
You're not working.
Do you know that Richard have a family with millions of dollars? Do you know that he have family with millions of dollars, including me too?
I am saying
millions of dollars.
What I am saying,
but is it for the Maroons? You know, it's personal.
No,
money.
what I am saying, Gadai, is that if you live in a compound as a young man, what are you going to live off? A young man, right? He does not reach the age of retirement like other person.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
No, it is a voluntary thing. The office of colonel.
Grand Rising. Give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes.
I am saying.
Just ask.
Listen.
When Mr. Ferron Curry. 2 minutes. 2 minutes, because I have to go cook my grandkids them dinner now. 2 minutes.
Yes.
When Mr. Ferron meet in auto accident in Hanover, and he resigned from the police force. He come in my compound and he live off my compound money. He live off my own money. Nobody, none of his family members say we give him money. They not have it to give it to you. You understand me? So he live off of my own money. I can tell you that from a fact. And Ferron Williams, when he come around town, he can't even go now to his family house. Nobody want him there. Last week Sunday, I was sitting on your brother veranda. Where were you? I was sitting on your brother veranda. And you can't go there and sit there like how I can go there. I'm privileged to go at Frankie's house. I'm privileged to go at teacher house. You can't go at none of them house because you're not privileged to.
So when he say that he is fearful of his life, hold on, Chief, because now we're getting to the meat of the matter. Why isn't he privileged to go to his family in a compound town, Lurleen? Do you know why?
He's dishonest with the maroon money, and the brother them shame. Then shame of him. Then shame of him. Then shame. There's a shame of him. When they look and see him having nice wife in Hanover and leave coming up there with this woman, there's a shame of him. One time, where saw taking picture, coming out of the Papa Roll house that the people then give to the people up there. He hide go there sleep in the morning, and everybody run on with a camera. They're running down through the bush, him and the woman. So Ferron do not respectable by nobody. Nobody.
Hey. What I'm running from is the people. It's a maroon business and a personal business. The reason why I'm having this dialogue this morning is because guess what? There's certain speculation as to how the maroon government in a compound town is running, and it's affecting us on the outer part because with all of the disunity. Yes.
Hold on there now, Rascal.
Hold on, Lurleen, hold on. Let me hear the current.
I am certain this conversation is being taped, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, it is.
I am certain.
Yes.
And what I want Lurleen and others likewise to know that she will hear from my lawyer, not me, because the fact of the matter is I have stand by for so long and watch and listen people belittle not only my name,
yes,
but my
we need accountability for the maroon money, Ferron Williams.
Hold on,
other half name as well.
Yes.
Other half name as well.
Yes.
And you see, she can't understand. She just can't comprehend. Because
until now, Ferron Williams do not give over the maroon documents. We have some things falling. We have some of the things falling. He has most of the things falling. He don't hand them over to Chief Curry.
But hold on. You just heard a while ago the colonel said he's made 3 attempts to revitalize the relationship with Richard Curry, and Richard Curry has not reached back out to him. That is what the colonel said.
He did not take any of these letters.
He did not accept them.
If you don't get it, I'm going to take what he don't get.
You are learning. Are you sure that he didn't get it?
If he get it, I would hear.
You're certain about that. That's why I'm saying.
I'm certain about.
Hold on. That's why I'm saying that Chief Richard Curry. I know you're listening, and I know your fan base is out there. Is listening. You're occupying a office of the Maroon. This is not a privilege where only you alone get to do it. Hold on, Colonel, hold on. And I'm making this reach out to you, Richard. Richard, you know me. There's things that people need to understand right now. And I believe that the silence that is going on and everybody jumping on your behalf, it's not what we want. You're occupying the office, Richard. Be man enough and call us. You know, my number is 260-209-8730. This is not going anywhere. As long as you occupy this office, we will forever shine a light on this office. We don't have any special like, whether it's Mr. Ferron or whether it's you or whether it's Buzra or anyone who occupy that office. You're a public servant, and we're asking you to take this opportunity and come to the table. Don't just go to people who you're comfortable with. Come over to us and let us reason. And for those who are putting out these derogatory remarks on the chat, listen me. We're not here to tear down each other. We're here to build each other. And it's embarrassing that the former colonel don't have a relationship with the present colonel. I think that is Jamaica politics, and we Maroon don't do Jamaica politics. Because Jamaica politics are not Maroon politics. Bribing people, threatening people, and taking advantage of people are not Maroon something. This treaty was signed for all of us, not just some of us. And without any bashing, we can have a reason. We don't need to character assassinate anyone. If we have dispute, we have to learn. What you say, Excellency?
Right. You know, one of the things that if you listen carefully, right? Because I am listening humbly because lots of things I'm learning I didn't know about.
Yes.
Right. But what you see displayed here is that we have a willingness. Maroon seems to have a willingness to take on each other at the highest level.
And not
but
the
when
government.
it comes to Big Babylon out here, they're babies.
Yeah.
Meaning, I don't take on Maroon, and I think Maroon as the smallest.
Yeah.
My issue is notice is Big Babylon me take on in defense of Maroon.
The oppressors.
I take them on. I articulate their laws. When I speak, no one can go and question or make a correction. As with all the videos I do, you never say one person come on and say, yo, but we research that and it don't go so. That does not happen. We take on Big Babylon. We're supposed to be taking on. So, this is what we saw.
Yes.
The lady said something, whether or not it is offensive or with the law. Right away, Mr. Williams is ready to step out of his indigenous persona
and get the
assume
corporation
the position
on
of a
board.
Jamaican
Yeah,
citizen,
you can't do that.
and say that he will have his lawyers contact her. While it's the same way, when I make talk and I hear people say, and I dare them, I said, you cannot find out one lawyer bright enough to sue Daniel Buzra. You can't. But
that's why we don't respect.
They're ready to take that. They're ready to take it to that.
No,
but hold on. Listen, let me finish.
Hold on, Buzra.
Hold on. No, you will not. No, you're not going to interrupt my thought. No. They are
hold on, Colonel, make him finish. He might wrap up now.
No. What I am speaking is nothing that nobody has to go and check, It was just displayed in front of us 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So, what I'm saying is that where was that willingness to say, listen, me hear Daniel Buzra say that the Saramaka Maroons beat the government of Suriname, and defend them land in the Inter-American Courts of Human Rights. Make us put together some money and go do what Buzra say and file. Why don't you want to take on Big Babylon in defense of Maroons' land and wealth?
That is where our problem
But you would
lies.
want to take on each other at the slightest. Most things people say, one of the things my father taught me, bless his soul, is that people's opinions are going to be varied, but your character must always prove them wrong.
Colonel,
think what you want of me.
Hold on, Colonel.
You can demonstrate in a higher understanding. Because we are ready.
Something.
We're supposed to have this discussion to sue the government. We're supposed to be ready to sue on my own.
Yes.
You know something, Rasta?
Yes, Colonel.
When you see, when I listen to what Lurleen is saying about my brothers, I can walk in a compound and go to any, separate and apart from maybe about 5 households. Go there and sleep if I want to. And don't forget.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget that I have brothers and nieces, nephews in a compound where I have gone. When he's talking about my brother teacher and I can go on his veranda and she was on it, what was she there doing? That's where I stay. Because you see,
Yes.
If Lurleen never threatened about suing. Remember, as she first started. And that is the reason why I asked you
but
if
you're
you have the tape.
Yeah, but you're hold on. Let me say this. And I just everybody here from Alma Curry to everyone is agreeing that it's embarrassing how we're quick to chop off each other's head. And as Daniel said a while ago, yes. As Daniel rightfully said a while ago, I'll know Richard Curry don't write a letter to the Governor General yet. I'll know we don't see Mr. Ferron Williams write a petition to the court. Nobody does these collective efforts on behalf of the Maroon.
Hold on.
Daniel, hold on. Let me hear. Yeah.
That's one of our problems. No,
Will you listen to me?
Well, let me hear the Colonel.
With all due respect, Ferron, with all due respect, I mean I broach a point and I make a clear point to one another, to all of us as Maroons.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes, sir.
You must understand.
Yes, sir.
You're supposed to love the place enough that you sit down and say, listen, we cannot continue like this.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're your only concern, you have to go research. What do I need to do to fix this? And if you take a 2 year, 3 year, you're going to figure it out and then come to the people with it. We have done that.
Yes.
But because we're dealing with a set of people who are ignorant of what we are saying, they rather than say to me, say, boy, Basra, what you say, sound like it makes sense, but we don't know that level there.
Mm-hmm.
Them try to cry down. Because there are fundamental things that you must do in order to free yourself. There's only one route Maroons can go in order to claim back the land. You cannot go into a Jamaican court. It's a case of jurisdiction.
It's under.
You have to go to the Inter-American courts. No, this is the issue. Because we keep yapping to here.
Let me hear.
I care so much. Listen, man. Look here, man.
Yeah.
One thing you'll never see me do. Maroons can say what they want about is not what I pay attention to. Because first and foremost, I know that most of them have misunderstandings and hearsay about me. One elder come to me and said, DN is a good thing. You come live in a town because something with them talk about you. You live amongst your sister, you don't stay, so your character different. But you never used to live here. You used to just come and go so people could tell you what we believe. Straight. We don't have time to pay attention to that. At every time you see, we must be keeping focus. Because if my brother want to think something about me, I don't care what Maroon think about me. The world may take on in defense of Maroon. If I'm busy doing that, then I don't have time to care what other Maroons think. Because when we get Maroon Town fixed, I will put in running water. Whether or not you didn't like me, the whole of weather can bathe and wash yourself and have hygiene standards. We're going to be able to pass the first standard for the tourist board to start sending tons of tourists. Presently, the tourist board cannot, because you don't have running water, and the first thing on the list is hygiene, and you can't pass that test there. You're not looking even further.
Let me hear what the Colonel...
That is my joy. That's what we suppose. I don't have time for the petty things that Maroon say about, and we need to let that go.
But hold on.
And he's a young man, maybe 50, somebody may ask me, elder them say, listen, if it is personal like that, they could deal with it.
Okay, Mr. Williams was there 11 years, and he didn't put in any water. So why Mr. Curry could go in 2 years and put it in so fast?
Hold on now.
Mommy, when my mother and father build the house, them never put in a bidet in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
But my sister, them really grew up on every bathroom have a bidet for the women in our house to wash themselves when them done use the bathroom. So we didn't complain.
Give him a good time. Give him a good time.
No, what we did not do as brothers and sisters is sit down and complain and cut mommy and daddy say, oh, them build the bathroom them without bidet. No.
But hold on.
Intelligence is most best demonstrated in your ability to solve your problems.
Yeah. But hold on. The Colonel was trying to weigh in on whether he has addressed the situation of collectively moving forward where I hear a lot of people don't rate LA, but Mr. LA bring a letter to the Governor General. Mr. Ferron, you have been in that office before Richard Curry. The example that we're looking from Richard Curry has to come from your leadership also, because if certain blueprints were put in place, I believe that we could hold Richard Curry foot to the fire. But he has the excuse to say that you didn't do it, so don't hold him accountable to do it. Did you make a collective effort to address the wider problem, which is the Jamaica government infringing on the rights of the Maroon? Have you made any such inroad?
Of course I have done that. And I tell you something.
Yes.
I have gone to the Governor General the Honorable Ombudsman done a parchment.
Yes.
We have gone there and we sat with the Governor General along with some Maroons. Those that were interested to know. People like, I won't call nobody name. But sufficient to say that I have written, and yes, the Governor General met with us. We have gone to the Governor General resident, his office, and he had promised not only to let us have back the peace treaty, the original one. You see, I am on a public radio program now saying this. We have done that along with.
Do you have any specifics as to time, date, anything that? Because this is what we're going to do.
Well, we did not get that. We did not get any specific
reply.
Time.
You did not get a reply from the Governor General.
I told you that we have gone there and sat with him, and he had made us that promise.
But was it fulfilled? Was it fulfilled?
Not if it was fulfilled.
That promise that the Governor General made.
You mean to let us have the
to recognize the treaty and return back the treaty and recognize what the treaty said.
It wasn't fulfilled. It wasn't fulfilled. If it was fulfilled, you would have known.
And this is what you would have known. And this is what Daniel is lurking in. He's saying that these are the guidelines.
Not only that, but even we have gone to the Chief Justice so as to say return cases.
I want to ask you a question on a different level. Richard has gone ahead with the identification. What's your take on it? The Maroon ID. We know that LA has something in the works already, but Richard is following through with his ID. Was this a perception from you, or is this a brand new avenue that the Akongpong office is taking? Did you have these?
Sir. From me, not only ID, but also passport.
Hold your shizzle, man. Hold your shizzle. Are you saying that there is blueprint in the office as we speak that you left with these ambitious route for the Maroons? Not only identification, but a passport that would allow us to travel. Are you saying that?
That is so. And in fact,
not true. Not true, Mr. Williams. Not true.
Lurleen, do you have proof of that this is not true? Because Lurleen, we're not just talking off the top of our head. Daniel, you were close. Do you know anything about that, Daniel?
I tell you something. Listen to this.
Yes.
One of the things, right? Because I have sat with the Honorable Posa Simpson Miller, advocating to have Maroon who would go to Parliament to look about Maroon business. Have Rasta in Parliament. There's none for the Maroon. And personally, I was having dialogue with her as far as having an independent senator, right, to sit there so as to look about Maroon business.
Daniel, hold on, Colonel. Daniel, is this a conflict of interest when we sit in the House of the Jamaica Parliament as Maroon? How do you look at that, Daniel? Because in my perspective, I believe that the Maroons are trying to get accreditation from the Jamaica government, which that is putting the cart in front of the horse. We have no deal.
That would not be it.
But we have
Rasgadai.
Yes.
Listen.
Yes.
That would not be it. What you must remember, as the saying go, you have to kick it before you have to kiss it before you can kick it.
Daniel,
we kick it from 1738.
Daniel, we kick it
from 1738. Listen again. No, I listen to all of you.
Colonel.
Hold on, Ferron.
Yeah.
Listen now.
Yeah.
Listen, what?
Hold on, Colonel. I need some insight. I need some insight from that.
Listen now.
Yes.
I don't know what Ferron was doing. Can't say he wasn't doing it. If he was having these discussions. But these discussions do not need to be had with. There's this constant going back to the Jamaican government to say you don't need to do that.
No.
That's not how it operates. And the issue I find is, as much as I'm here speaking, Gadites, these Maroons will hear me speak.
Yes.
And they will pretend like they don't hear it. And desperately spend the next 25 years trying. While we would have already researched, studied the thing, and know the formula as one who studied sociology and social work at UA. That's what they teach, the system, how to go through it. There is a process that we're supposed to go through. That process has nothing to start with the Jamaican government.
No.
You understand? To get an ID international recognized, Mr. Dennis Foster and us as a part of a team, we bought an ID machine. It makes laser printers, put the magnetic strip at the back, everything. It is still here. We still have it. We printed the first set of IDs and says, Maroon, in order to separate yourself, you must have this. We went through the process with the United Nations, Chamber of Commerce, all the global bodies, and we know exactly what to do. We went through the process. When we brought the IDs to Maroon Town, there were Maroons living overseas who called the Maroons in the local and said, listen, you don't follow again them ID there. That next to the government will come down for you.
Wow.
So when it suits them, the government is powerful. But when it don't suit them, the government weak. No, Maroons totally ignore this. The IDs are in the building. I have posted them on Facebook. Here is constantly showing said this is where it must go. We went to the point of clarity that we already have the first 30 conveyance bill to people. Hold on, man. No. Wait, no, man. This is going to take this thing to halfway. Because not one of you who are talking can show your ability to dedicate 3 years of your life to researching it. I have dedicated 9. You don't know what you're doing to that do already. Here's the problem. You see, everybody can talk about what they started, what they did. No one is able to say what they have brought to fruition and done successful. And this is where we falter. If my job is to build a bridge, I'm not supposed to be telling you 11 years after, oh, I had a discussion with a man to start a bridge. You're supposed to cross the bridge. That means I would have got the job done. That is what we are not getting from any Maroon administration. Promises, and nothing comes to fruition.
And I think that is where. Hold on. I think that is where a lot of people are supporting Richard Curry, because Richard Curry right now is in the limelight, and everything that is being said that should have been done, he perceives like he's doing it. But we're hearing from the colonel saying that yes.
Gadai, it is not about a colonel. The failure is not on any colonel.
Yes.
Because it is supposed to be us as Maroons. Simple as the whole over there, so talk, and everybody who listening, you should also, since you love it enough to be here, you should also have loved it enough to decide to, all right, I want to help with the aspect of the farming. Let me go research that part. And so by the time all of we come, everybody come with a piece of knowledge at the plate, and when we all of we put the knowledge together, we have an entire book. So if you say they care about the town, you're supposed to do that research, some aspect of the town. The same thing where you criticize and complain about, you should have did go research. Because my first criticism was, we don't have no water. So what did I do? I did a thorough research on the process. I talked to engineers, hydro engineers. I brought the hydro. You see, I put my money where my mouth is. The rest of them are yap like Chinese. I brought the best hydro engineering company in Jamaica. And I went with Ken Roy, round to Junior Tavern. They took a measurement. How much the water flow to Junior Tavern. We look at the land and we did the measurements. Put a reservoir, dig it at the ground, 2.5 million gallon. Quarter mile of pipe up to the tank, fixed filters and pump to send water around to the town. So you have the reservoir with 2.5 million gallon and you have the tank full. And there's a constant flow of water. And then when you go, you could extend as the community go, you extend the reservoir size. And that's how there's something that my great-grandchildren have to do again. We went to the best. We brought it. We gave it to Ferron. Nobody paid attention. We gave it to Richard Curry. Richard Curry did not pay it attention. Yet still him went out and put out a GoFundMe. You're putting out a GoFundMe for water. For what project? Where's the project? What is it going to cost if you're going to build a house? You must have the costing of the house. How many nails, how many boards, how many cement, how much sand. That is what I paid for and got done. And rather than do it, you don't know, the rest of them know it like me are done. They are the dunces. exposed to the world by not having done. Because this is the requirement if you're going to put in a reservoir. You have to have a hydrant engineer. The hydrant engineer at Israel Tech and I studied together. We brought him there. He's at, no, the man is a Charleston Maroon. Yes. And he took on the project as the head engineer and said, no, I don't want to send none of them. I come do this, a Maroon thing.
Yes.
And we did it. Every nail, every pump, everything. The cost of the pipe, pumps, filters, flange for the tank. We went inside the tank. Look what it going to cost to fix the tank. And all we do know is we have a costing. So anybody you want to fund it, they're going to say, what's this project? And you present that to them and they see that you're ready and they give you the money. If you just go to people and say, no more want to put up water, nobody takes you seriously.
You have to have a plan. But point well taken.
But then we ignore that. That means we as Maroons need to step up our game and say, if you don't like, something at the town I run,
yes,
go research how to fix it. I come with answers. Anything I criticize, I can tell you. I criticize this, and here is how we can do it and make it work.
All right.
Let us criticize.
All right. Colonel, we have about 10 more minutes. You wanted to say something before Daniel. You was talking a while ago. You want to say something, Colonel?
You know, what I would say is that earlier,
yes,
I said that I had listen and keep my mouth shut.
Yes.
And I will do that.
All right, before you keep your mouth shut.
You see, the thing is, Lurleen is going to say that my brothers, nobody, they despise me until
Lurleen, do not, Colonel. Colonel, I don't think you need to take that.
I am saying, you know, you remember I said to you,
yes,
if I know that, you know, it would reach to this level, I would not have come on your program.
No. I don't want you to have disappointment because right now, Colonel, you are very important to the past, the present, and the future is one. And what we're trying to find out right now is we as a people have a legacy that we have to decipher so we can move forward. There's a lot of things where the administration of Richard Curry has moved forward with. There's a lot of things that you have moved forward, but there's not a collective measure. What we're saying right now, let me ask a question. Is there, you've put out an olive branch to the office of Richard Curry. Are you still open for dialogue with him so we can see the way forward? Or is it a done deal where you're not trying anymore?
I tell you something.
Yes.
I'm not the type of person to throw the baby
in the
bath pan.
Yes.
No. But I tell you what.
Yes.
The saying goes: if two cannot agree, they should not walk.
But this is not about this is
before.
Yes.
Listen. All I am simply saying,
yes,
and that is fine. Lurleen is saying that his money, Maroon money,
yes,
build that building.
Yes.
Now, am I to understand then that if for any reason Garden House, right, and the other party, for instance, when Trump and Biden, they should just go in and mash up everything. I can send you pictures where artifacts which were taken from Africa is being destroyed. Was destroyed by Curry and his supporter.
Wow.
Set on fire.
This seems to be this seems to be really hostile. Richard doesn't come off as a hostile person. He always seems to be very. But this is the illusion that I want our brothers and sisters to picture, because I am saying we've been here over almost 2 hours. We're discussing. Listen
what I am saying.
Yes.
Listen what I am saying. I can send you
pictures
and show you when they are. Yes. when they invaded the building. Now, if it is your building, why cut off lock? Why didn't you ask for key? Cut off lock, destroy, take what you want to take. Could I? You know what?
Yes.
I think I've said too much.
I think you have said a lot. I think you have said a lot, but
I think I said too much.
I am asking.
Too much.
I am asking for civil ed to go over because it's an international matter.
There can be no peace.
Yes.
Without justice. Remember that.
And the justice.
Here, justice have to start the motion of peace. Justice.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been here for almost 2.5 hours, and we're talking with former Colonel Ferron Williams. He has come on the platform. He has laid his part of the story full out. We've been reaching out to Richard Curry office to find out exactly when is he going to sit down and have a reasoning about some of these concerns. Some of the you were saying, Colonel?
You see, good eye?
Yes.
One of the things is when persons are saying things and then the other person is not there.
Yes.
To say the
yes.
That is one thing, right? Because, say for instance, you ask if I have sent a letter to Richard.
Yes.
Agricultural minister. His agricultural minister was the last person I gave a letter to take to Richard, and he returned it saying that Richard said no want nothing from me. Done. Period.
But as I said before, this is not even from the man himself, Ferron Williams. This is the former colonel who the office that he's occupying. And I'm sure that there's several reasoning that he's not privy to that you and him need to talk about. I think, as Daniel said a while ago, the oppressors is laughing while we're killing each other. The corporation is having a ball.
Just remember what I am saying. Yes. What I said. I have said, I'm talking about handwritten. I'm not talking about email because we can prove that.
Yes.
Handwritten letter. One was, after I leave office,
yes,
he had said to me, what about the Ganja project? I wrote a letter to him explaining and stating everything. And he said he don't want it. He said he don't want it. He send it back. The last letter I gave to his agricultural minister, the money, Lennon Papai, better known to all. Papai returned the letter, and I said to Papai, you know what? Give it to my niece. I will collect it from her. What are you?
There's no diplomacy between you and the office. We have established that, and I think that if we're going to, as Maroon, come out for the rest of the globe to recognize us.
No, because here what happened.
Yeah.
Here what happened. Because, as Lurleen said, and she will be the only one to say that I wasn't living in a compound. I have never slept one night in a compound because she stay over Canada, I know that. Right?
Yes.
She's there, but yet remember she's saying that I slept in the Food for Poor house. You know why?
Yes.
You know why? Persons burned down my mother house.
Wow.
My mother and father house during the 2015 election.
I think
during the 2015.
Yeah.
Listen,
yeah.
There's a lot of things.
There's a lot.
The more I reflect on the treatment that I get
I'm hearing
from persons who I put out my all for. Remember, I told you that I called a meeting was to hand over, and the only reason why I ran for the office of colonel was I know that the person that they were going to put up, Nama Rowe Edwards, she could not have won.
Okay.
I told her I was going to hand over to her. And she said to me, she want her own mandate. But lo and behold, when I leave her as my deputy and person go to her and say, well, there's no water in the tank. Oh, you did not vote for me. They go to her and say, well, you know, this need to fix. Oh, I am not here to do Ferron dirty work. She was my deputy.
Hold on. Last but not least, someone just texted us a while ago that the last celebration in a Kongpong town, a vast amount of cell phone was handed over, $1 million was handed over to the colonel. Are you aware of that?
I was told I did not see that money hand over.
Yes.
I know that a vast amount of the cell phone and shave also here to shave the head. You know, you're a Rasta. You know,
barber. We have to grooming
you know,
for
I
the
hear about
elders.
that.
No man, grooming have to go out to the elders sometimes.
But and you know, say it only lock up a one person house.
All of those
and
things.
Distribute this, yes, and distribute it, and the maroon, the wider community don't get any. The wider community don't get any.
But this is why the past
What I am saying, I live up there on this Saturday.
Yes.
No, this Sunday. But ever since people calling and saying, why we were coming to get no pay when we used to get the pay, they call and they say, well, you know, the sell site money, I know we don't get it. And when you do that, even when we never used to get that big amount, the company never used to pay that big amount, but we used to get whatever. People are complaining. People are complaining. But as I said before,
yes.
And if you think I am lying, I can play back tape that Meredy Rowe, he was so afraid because he was surrounded and threatened.
Wow.
They tried it with me. But as I said before, it was reported. Alma asked the question, was it reported? Yes, because it was reported. But during the same time, I said to them, I don't want any action to be taken. And Alma know, if you want action, what you have to do?
Yes, you have to file a report.
Yes, you would have to go to the...
Yep.
Yes. But
we
listen,
yeah.
As I said before, you know, threat nowadays, some person take it lightly. Some don't take it that lightly. Because, as I said before, Kalai, I think I have gone and said too much.
No,
if for any reason,
yes,
anybody want to, they can contact my lawyer. And you're talking about when Buzzer talk about lawyer.
Yes,
I have letter that lawyers from Avis Rowe and Marjorie Melanie Curry and somebody else had gone saying that they want for me to account for the funds, which I did, but sufficient to say that my name was never, ever in any Maroon account. I will leave it
right there
like that. I was not the treasurer.
Yes.
And my name was not in any Maroon account.
Well, Colonel.
And no organization name oversees Maroon ever fund anything to me. Nobody. Separated apart from the government of Jamaica, irrespective, whether be it PNP or JLP, when I was in power, they contributed to me. Yes, one might contribute more than the other.
Yes.
But both.
Well, I am sure
nobody else.
I am going to have your number. And, this morning was just an introduction because, as I said, this is a Maroon business. This is not Ferron William business or Richard Curry business or Daniel or Ras Gadite. It's about the people who have 285 years of legacy to install and uplift ourselves as a nation. And I think, as I said, the rest of our brothers and sisters globally, they're watching every single move. I think it's very crucial, and that is why the Corporation of Jamaica is even trying to stronghold the Maroon to subdue them under their jurisdiction. We're not under the jurisdiction of the Jamaica government. The Jamaica government is owned by the Crown, and our ancestors beat the Crown in 1738. Yes, we have 5 more minutes, His Excellency.
Yeah. If you are the Jamaican government and you see a community with this rich history, and they can't yet get running water, a running water system, get a reservoir built, catchment system, pumps and filters, and a piping system to provide running water, basic engineering, social engineering, them can't get that done. Then you as a government now say there's a bunch of idiot this way you can take for food.
Yes.
The government approach is what it is because Maroons have not demonstrated to any level the acumen to provide the fundamentals for itself. You understand me?
Yes.
When it is there to be done. You get the message. So, as you notice and you keep listening, what we find is some elders over 65 and 70 holding on to some personal grudges and interplaying the town's development in their personal grudges. Because here's the thing now, none of these people, they didn't have friends that live in the communities I grew up in Kingston. They did not have friends whose children went to schools I went, or the parties I went, or associations, or the colleges I went to. So they can have nothing personal against me because me and them never even did interact. Yes. I grew up coming every holiday over to Aberdeen where we have 1,200 acre. Big John and my grandmother buy that place. And we would walk on the path, come across into the 120 acre right. I would walk from that property in Aberdeen, come across to a compound through the mountain. Wayne and Cavan would always be there to meet me. And me and them, I spend time up at Auntie Elma down at the graveyard up around the time. Me and man, come run with. So me and them don't have nothing personal. I have the world in front of me. So me can't take when me see them come with the personal thing. When me I said that for sort out long time. Because I cannot be angry at Ferron anymore because I said what I had to say when he was there. When he was there, they were quiet, you know. When he was there, here's the hypocrisy. They called me a troublemaker when I was speaking out about what we found wrong. But then when it gone now, I know you want to go back to that in the past. So you're preventing us technically from looking towards the future.
Yes.
The conversation we're having about the past prevents us from working towards the future.
All right.
Well, they did not do it when it was supposed to be done. We don't have time for that.
Yeah.
So a generation must know.
Yes.
A generation must know when its time has come to sit down and let those with the acumen, that is the capabilities, just demonstrate it. You understand me?
Okay, I have 3 more minutes, and I'm going to allow Lurley has just joined us, but I'm going to allow the Colonel to put his last word. Colonel,
what? I hear from Lurley. I hear Lurley officer. She just come, make the woman talk.
Jesus. Lurleen is just joining us back. I don't know if she's still cooking for the grandchildren, because you know her cousin. I be a family up on the line, you know, people. As much as a year we are raffling out is one kinder tree. One kinder tree. Yes, so we come dish out with things and deal with. So Lurleen seemed to be busy, but Lurleen, Daniel, so you need to talk. You rejoined us. We're coming to the closing. What the final word you want to say to all your brothers and sisters? No matter what we are dispute on, what you want to see.
And I can say,
yes,
peace and love. Peace and love.
yes.
And all I would ask in my brother, Ferron Williams, which my mother is Carmel Williams, I do not like when he said things that is not true. He speaks so many things to you. He telling you that the reason why this and that and that and that, but everything that come out of that man's mouth is story. The whole compound now been jumping and shouting and say, let him come and say something to me and you will see what we do. Let somebody else say that because he is telling lie. He's telling lie.
Well,
He's a liar.
I would advise my brothers and sisters in a compound town that Mr. Ferron is not our oppressors. Mr. Ferron is no way, shape, and form. He may align, but he's not the oppressor. And let civil
the government put border on a compound and not one of them can do nothing on the matter tough for one another.
Yeah, that may I say. Yo, make him come. Yo, anyway. Last but not least, Mr. Williams, what your closing word as the colonel, former colonel, and the love of our brothers and sisters as a Maroon? What you want to say to your listeners and the people who hold you in high esteem?
That my love for the people in a compound is still there. My love for my brothers and sisters are still there. And, when certain action is taken, just let it be lie where it is. I will say nothing.
And to the office of Mr. Richard Curry, what the last word you have to say?
I don't have anything to say to Richard. As I said before,
Remember, you're the elder statesman too, all right? You're an elder statesman, so respect goes with your name too. Respect goes with your name also.
I remember that.
Yes.
But respect, we get respect.
I know.
Okay. If you can't respect your elder, you must respect your elder. And that is the reason why, you see, I am not saying much because, persons, you have a lot of persons out there and, they expect better from me. So let me.
Yes.
Client.
Daniel Z. Baz. All right. Daniel Z. Baz, last but not least, what's your last word, Excellency? Because you've been fighting the battle on the forefront. Excellency.
This is not a drill.
Yes.
This is not a drill and this is not a joke,
Yes.
These elders
yes.
must know that the time is coming, you need to step out of the way, get out of the conversation, not because you don't have any use, we need it to guide us. But where we are technically and where we need to go, first thing, you have to just acknowledge the listener. And them set a generation of the schooling, You have to first love the community more than any personal business or any personal thing you have again. You have to love it first. You have to want something for everybody. Because most of what everybody keeps talking about is something for themselves. Water in the community is for everybody. You understand? Energy generation is something for everybody. Nobody comes with any plans for everybody to benefit. Everybody come with ideas and plans for them and them little clique benefit. That's what we see. And we thought that to the world, and we can call name. We're just going to be discreet. So we say that if you want to go further, if you plan for your great grand picnic comes to a compound or something, you need to put your hand together and get yourself together and start being hypocrites amongst yourselves. You're too quick to take on one another on a coward to the world. We don't need to take on any compound Maroon because we have not yet met those who are in our league. You can't affect my life. I can make phone call on people, my friend in my ministry makes sure no picnic on no family but pass our exam. We're hooked up. But at the system we take on Maroon. People never know me because me did not speak up Daniel Boswell. Because I defend Maroon, but none of them put a talk. But in all of talk against one another. talk and let us do what it must be done to leave a legacy. Nobody will remember my name, them just can come and say, some Maroon have them own electricity, and them own water, and them own nice, and them have airport. Nobody will remember none of our name. They're just going to glorify who we are all together.
Yeah. Well,
bigger than any one of us.
Thank you so much to the Colonel, former Colonel Ferron Williams. Thanks so much to Lurleen, and of course, thanks so much to Daniel Z. Basra. We will continue this dialogue, and I will replay it. Of course, you will hear all the sentiments. We're finding solution, people. Solution to our problem. We as a Maroon are celebrating 285 years, and we are strong. Thank you so much, Mr. Williams, and thank you so much, Lurleen. We shall have ye. Yes. A beautiful show. I'm going to turn it over. Plus, for those who want to contact us, the number is 260-209-8730. We will be rebroadcasting this on our radio station, so you can listen it in the own comfort of your home and analyze what's been said this morning. And we're also leaving a hand, for Richard Curry to make available the office of the Maroon in Akongpong Town to decipher some of the concerns that our brothers and sisters have. Remember that I love you, my brothers, I love you, my sisters. Most importantly, the Almighty God that created heaven and earth love you even more. If you cannot be good, be careful. If you cannot be good, remember, be careful. And listen to me, don't go with no animosity towards your brothers and sisters, because we're all facing the injustice that the corporation is dishing out to each and every one of us. I'm going to leave you this morning with a very noble song and reminding us that, listen to me, the hotter the buckle, the sweeter the victory.
Move along, African redemption. Move it. Full time for repatriation. Move along, not for reparation. If you can't stand the pace, then get out of the race. And if you can't stand up strong, then you got to move along. If you don't open your eyes, then you pay the price. Yeah. Now you're sure born to lose. Mama Africa, yo, it's the youth that we need you. From ancient time, them teach me pancho. Spread the lie and rumor pancho. Trying in the mess for me neglect you. But no matter what them do, me now forget you. Right now me say me long to see you. And when me come forward, me never left you again. Me and me wife and me children. No, Africa, me love you. This time will be the last chance. This time will be the one. Oh no, na 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 na. Mama Africa, we can't do without you. You can't stand the pace, then get out of the race. And if you can't stand up strong, then boy you got to move along. You don't open your eyes, then you pay the price, yeah. But you're sure born to lose. Mama Africa, we love you. Mama Africa, give birth to humanity. I Ethiopia, breastfeed the whole of it. Mama Africa, give birth to humanity. I Ethiopia, suckle the whole of it. Mama Africa, we love you, and we can't do without you. This time will be your last chance. This time there'll be no other. No, 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 no. Great love the foundation. Many times I've been there. War of civilization. I know it is. I've had my share. This world keep putting you down. Gotta prove yourself, get up off the ground. 'Cause you don't want others. Mama Africa, me love you. Ethiopia, we need you. From Asian time, them teach me fan you. Spread the lion room upon you. Trying them swim me neglect you. No matter what them do, me don't forget you. Right now, me see me long to see you. And when me come forward, me never left you again. Me and me wife and me children, them. Mama Africa, me love you. Ethiopia, me need you. Mama Africa, we love you. Ethiopia, we need you. And we can't do without you. So me longing to see you. Right now, me say me long to see you. And when me come forward, me never left you again. Me and me wife and me children, Mama Africa, me love you. Ethiopia, me need you. Mama Africa, me love you. Ethiopia, me need you.
The Resistant Radio. Fresh Radio Vibes, the most feared internet radio station on planet Earth. The Resistant Radio Station. Fresh Radio Vibes. Fresh Radio Vibes. Fresh Radio Vibes, the most feared internet radio station on planet Earth. The Resistant Radio Station. Fresh Radio.
Yes, we are. Make me yes, we people, you say, call we are good. Oh, me people, you say, call we are good. Yes, we are good. Oh, we are good. Yes, the people we good. Oh, we are good. Oh, the people you say God we. Oh, the people you say God we. Oh, we are good. Oh, man, I'm good. Oh, we are good. Oh, the people. Oh, we are good. Oh, you think I will. I will be for your sake, carry you. We are good. Oh, make me good. Mustafa. Hold on. Conga make me good. Oh, we are good. If you say, carry you, we are good. Yes, the people you say, carry you, we are good. Conga mana good. Yes, the people you say, carry you, we are good. Boy, the people you say, carry you, we are good. That's my boy, I know. This is the master, come up with you. I am a good day. Oh, we are good day. Oh, we are good day. Oh, we are good day. Boy, me people, you say something. Oh, me people, you say carry oh. You take on me for rocky people. Oh, people, oh, people,